Welcome to Game Changer Weekly. John, how are you doing on this once again Monday early evening for us?
Yeah, this is an off day for us. Happy early New Year to everyone. This is kind of our New Year show. I'm doing really great tonight. This should be a decent show. We're covering, what was it? Geez, I almost went blank already here on this one. GCW's Take Care. Looking forward to it. How you doing tonight, man?
Doing all good. Yeah, I sat here thinking I was way ahead of schedule, then forgot to put out the tweet. So I'm getting the tweet ready right here. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about tonight. Clown Reed, saw you guys earlier in the chat. Thank you for stopping in. And yeah, New Year's Eve coming up. And first of all, how was holidays for you? I guess let's cover holidays real fast.
Wow, I wasn't ready for that one.
Sorry, I was going to bring that up.
No. I love it. I love the question. I think everything went great. We spent some time with some family. We do our thing where we go over and like play cornhole and eat a bunch of food. And we have like a tournament. Sometimes people may see those pictures online where I'm wearing an AEW belt or something. That's me playing cornhole. And if our team wins, you get to pose with one of the AEW belts. So, it was mostly that. Also, just to be fair, a lot of reflection. I lost some people this year. So just going through that. My one cousin sent me a Christmas card from back home, and I haven't been there in a while. And there was a lot of really touching things in there. And it was really cool. So it was kind of a get back to self situation for a small amount of time. And I think it was exactly what was needed this Christmas. And how do you feel you did overall?
Yeah, did good. Our plans changed at the last minute, so we kind of had to make up a Christmas at the last second, and we did what we can, and it was nice and relaxing. We did the whole enchant stuff last night, which was cool. And yeah, now just trying to get the house cleaned up and get ready to go back to school here next week. But I think overall holidays have been pretty good.
Oh man, excellent. So what I'll do is we'll talk about that Christmas holiday show that we just had. First and foremost, a heartfelt thank you to Effy, Cole Radrick, and Sam Stackhouse for appearances on our show. That meant a lot to us for them just to stop in when they had a chance and say hi, and they spent way more time than we thought they were going to with us. So, I mean, for both of us, thank you so much. I didn't know if you wanted to say anything there or not, B.
No, yeah, thank you guys. I sent them all a message. I just realized I forgot to send them a message. So I'm gonna have to send them a week late message here. But yeah, thank you everyone for hopping on last minute kind of thing last weekend. It was fun. It was cool just to be able to chill and relax. And now we get back into it and got some wrestling to review later on here.
Oh man. So I'm gonna go ahead with a little piece of news here. Vikingo was injured on Progress 175 yesterday. It is on Triller TV if you want to go back and review as to what happened. Looks like it was his knee. If you go to the 32-minute mark, almost exactly on the show, you can see what happened. Vikingo was quoted earlier today saying he has hope for a couple of weeks. Fingers crossed this doesn't change the Hammerstein card for GCW. I think I echo you there. Just fingers crossed nothing changes. So...
I was terrified when you sent that. I was actually kind of hoping that was like an injury that happened. Like, I know, like he had the big injury, came back, hurt himself at Impact, came back, and then I thought like he hurt himself again prior to this Progress one even. So I was hoping it was earlier, not just literally happened yesterday. But I'm hoping that he can get ready for Hammerstein because Vikingo was like the name I called for since I saw him and started following GCW, and I was begging for him to come back, and I was begging for him to show up in GCW and hoping and waiting for him to come back. And I was getting excited when they announced it for Hammerstein. Hopefully we see him a little bit more after that. And then this injury kind of ruined my hopes last night, but hopefully he could recover in time and have him and Sydney could tear the house down to Hammerstein. And hopefully this wasn't a significant injury as the previous one.
We really hope not. Great one is here. Look at that. Little Skittle is here. This is awesome.
Ooh, yep. Mason Red versus Akeem would be nice.
There we go. Another House of Glory connection right there.
Yep.
So great news for listeners. January's schedule of interviews on the podcast here completely filled up. Any extra interviews we may take in this month will have to be bonus shows. If you have the opportunity to grab your phone or grab a pencil, I'd say do it right now. I'm going to give you some dates and names. On Monday, January 6th, our next guest on the podcast will be John Wayne Murdoch. After that episode, we'll be going back to Tuesday nights. Anything you want to talk about or anything you're looking forward to with Murdoch?
Yeah, I think we have some stories we're gonna try to get out of him and bring up and see what he says. But I think, yeah, I'm excited to hear. Just, I know we got some real life stories to talk about, but I'm actually interested to hear all the fun, like, backstage of all the tournaments he's done and everything, and hear all his experiences that he's had throughout all these deathmatch tournaments throughout the world. And yeah, he's going to be a very interesting person to talk to, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, my impression of him is he is such a nice guy, but I will tell you, there are GCW wrestlers and there are the true deathmatch first GCW wrestlers, and he is a different animal, and I respect that a lot. This will also be a treat for the true GCW fans that I hope will be appreciated. We'll host an exclusive set of interviews. There'll be 2. Brett Lauderdale will be with us on January 14th. That's a few days before the Hammerstein show. And then we'll have him on a few days after the Hammerstein show on January 21st. To me, I felt like that would be huge, felt like it was a great idea. We will be fortunate enough to be discussing everything running up to the show and then a complete review of everything after the show. And I don't know anywhere else that's going to be covering that except for right here. So that's the 14th and the 20th.
I'm excited for that one. That is for sure. YouTube, is it? It's live on YouTube on my end here. Sorry. I just want to make sure nothing was going on there.
No sweat.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear Brett's thought of, like, literally last minute emotions, feelings, what he's thinking and kind of hoping for and praying, praying that what's different this time compared to last time at Hammerstein. And then, yeah, right afterwards, we get his immediate reactions to it. And I can't wait for it. Hopefully he's able to make it for us. I know we have it planned and etched in stone right now, but we know with Brett, who knows what could happen. But I'm excited just to hear and see his reactions before and afterwards, fresh in his memory too. And yeah, that's pretty cool that we're exclusively going to be getting it first right then and there.
Yeah, so we're going to get a free version for everyone who's a listener, a history of GCW episode, kind of by just listening to the after show that we're going to be having on the 21st. So hopefully everybody really enjoys that. It was a lot to get together and we're really looking forward to it. Now, last week, some may have heard me say that we needed an episode dedicated to Sam Stackhouse. We haven't interviewed him yet. Good news. We locked that in. We'll be interviewing Sam on January 28th. Go ahead and write that one down if you get a chance. You know how I am.
That's funny.
I'll be making sure everybody knows.
He's like one of our most frequent guests, and we never got him on just one-on-one to sit down by himself. Man, but every time he comes on, there's always someone with him too. It seems like, or someone hops in. So I can't wait to sit down with Sam Stackhouse and hear some more stories.
It almost hurt me that we haven't given him his own time yet because he's really loved around here.
I think the first one we did spend a lot of time on it until Emil came in, and then Emil got some cool stories out of him as well.
It's true. Back to Lauderdale for a minute. A little bit of news. Brett and Nick Gage were seen in a photo together in New York City at the most recent WWE event at Madison Square Garden. Most listeners feel his return is inevitable. Everybody get near your keyboards for a minute. I want to ask the listeners, assuming there's a return, who do you think Nick Gage faces at Hammerstein? I want to see what people have to say here. And B, do you have an answer yet, or are you still thinking?
I don't think he's in Hammerstein's plans. If he shows up at Hammerstein, there's one obvious name that I would have, and that would be Atticus, because Atticus seems to be intent on wreaking havoc at Hammerstein. And what other way to do that than the god himself, Nick Gage? That would be a cool, very strong, cool moment at Hammerstein. But I hope he does come back and get that match with Drew Parker too. I guess those are the first two I want to see when he comes back.
We have some interesting things going on here. Reed Harris Cooper says, I do not think it is inevitable. And we have to watch. Reed has been right about some things that are inevitable, and they somehow came true. We have to give him the respect for that. Also, if it happens, Barnett He's talking Bloodsport. You know, that would put the blood in Bloodsport, wouldn't it?
Wow, that's why I envision Bloodsport. Like I know they have like the key MMA kind of background and concepts, but I also just like the chaos, like someone that Akira brings, the hybridness of Ninja Mac and Yo-Yo. Like I love seeing a bunch of different stuff. So yeah, Nick Gage versus Barnett at Bloodsport would be crazy at Hammerstein. That's a good one.
Oh man. All right. Who else did we have here? Great one said, I don't think Nick is returning soon, but I think it'll happen by the end of the year. Patrick Scroggin says, hope he returns at the end of the day. I hope Gage is in good health. We all do, for sure. Super Hentai, I don't think he's at Hammerstein, but I'd have him lose to Atticus if he was.
That's my answer there too.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Reed says, I honestly don't think Brett and Nick see eye to eye on business these days. Patrick says, but if he's at Hammerstein, does Cardona have an opponent yet? The answer is no.
And now Cardona's kind of injured too, so I'm kind of like I don't know, this Hammerstein shows with the injuries and stuff, it's getting kind of cursed there, but that'd be a cool opponent. It makes sense. I mean, it has a lot of history.
Yeah, Cardona doesn't have an opponent yet. Masha Slamovich does also does not have an opponent yet.
I think Great One brought it up because I started writing that in my notes when I was reviewing this show. Like I wonder what's happening, but then I think Great One mentioned before. I think there's a TNA or Impact show that day or that earlier that day or that weekend, and that's kind of where Masha's going to be at, and that's why she's not booked for Hammerstein. Is whatever. If I remember, someone in the chat said that either last week or the week before.
Very interesting. You know, it sounds like they're just holding off. They're holding off a new championship.
TNA's running that night. There we go. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So something I just wanted to mention here, I wrote down, I wanted to see what other people had to think about it, but you know, Gage has been out. Oh yeah. Some of these answers have been fantastic. He said people with no opponents, Manders, Bane, and Blake. Good call, Reed. Any of those seem to kind of ring a bell for you, you think? Bane would not work. I think only because she's just not there in that realm.
What are you talking about for Masha?
Oh,
I don't know
for Masha, yeah.
What you were talking about. Sorry.
No, I got my wires crossed because I'm not thinking very well. I was thinking of Gage also. Bane and Masha would be fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of hoping for at Hammerstein. A cool moment for Bane and Masha. I will talk about this in this main event later, but Masha, Jesus, man. I don't know. It's just, yeah, we'll get to it. Reed, I want to know what this Sutton Blake situation is. Sorry. I got you started. John's got like this. We got this intro. We're going to do this. And I got a couple things tagged on the chat I want to bring up before we get there too. So we're going to get there, Reed.
All right, perfect. So the next thing I wanted to mention when it came to Gage, because of course this is now speculation here and there. Gage has been out on the deathmatch scene, working shows that he normally wouldn't be working a year ago. You know, he gets to go out, see old friends, do some catching up. For the first time in a while, he's outside of the GCW bubble. And I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm holding out that there's some goodwill going around and some relationships may get repaired. I'm not even speculating. I think I'm just saying that he's been out there now amongst some old friends and whatnot. And it makes me wonder if maybe going out there was a beneficial thing. Maybe not in the beginning, but I think that now looking back, it goes, you know what, it was nice to catch up to this one, and this one. And now maybe they're on a closer, they're on the same page, or they're a little closer than before. And I'm hoping down the road that maybe makes business a little easier overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think anything this year's told us, and wrestling has been telling us forever, never say never. I would like to see him, back in GCW, but also while he's out not mending fences, but bringing everybody, like building relationships, as you said, like get everything better, like get everyone back on the same page. As it kind of felt like years ago, like even though there's all these independent promotions, they all still like we're killing it and working together to help each other out and like still put on great shows. And I feel like lately, obviously it's been a lot more territorial against that, but I'm happy for Nick seeing him out there. We get to see some matches that he probably wanted in other companies and against other people that we haven't gotten in GCW. So I'm happy for him to get that. And like to see him kind of do his thing and then hopefully come back one day. And like I said, maybe bring some old friends and some new friends along with him and start having some more cool stuff to talk about in wrestling.
B, could you put up James' note right there? James Noter. Yep. James says Danny DeMonto has been talking up a lot of change in the deathmatch community coming. I was getting ready to get that in my next notes. I have a wrestling wish for 2025.
Oh shit, I didn't even see
it's dude, it worked out perfectly. To me, it's that old friends and associates start working together. Here's my idea. What I think is best for business. I would love to see DeMonto show up as a paying customer, front row at GCW, dead on camera. He brings a couple friends and just sits and watches the show. Imagine what buzz would be created if he comes in the world of the internet and they're just sitting there. The internet would be on fire for weeks. If nobody says or does anything, speculation would fly. Money is possibly there. But I would tell you one thing. If he was there, it'd be a memorable moment. I would literally raise money for those seats in less than an hour or less. No business, just a paying customer. Go over there and do something for fun, ruffle a couple feathers playfully, and hope that maybe something goes on there, because I think controversy creates cash and there's money to be made. And as the #1 deathmatch company in the world, GCW has a responsibility to get the best deathmatch under their roof. And I feel like that's a way to do it. There are, in the independent scene, it feels like NHB is like the left hand and GCW is on the right hand. And it's been a long time, but my wish is that we see that. Because I could tell you right now, boy, could we see some matchups that we could even make them unsanctioned or whatever it needs to do to be fun. I'm really looking forward to whatever is best. And I can tell you right now, deathmatch fans want this, and a decent amount of independent wrestling fans also would like to see one night come together, matchups that maybe you wouldn't see often. And again, this isn't like Brett and Danny are out there wrestling each other. This is more like the wrestlers are doing their thing. Let them tell the story and see what comes of it. But that would definitely be a fan first thing. But that's also a money first thing, if you're really looking at it from that perspective.
I think it's an ego first thing. No offense.
I don't know any better.
Yeah.
I look at it as two men have business between each other, and I'm just on the outside going, gosh, I wish everybody could get along, because the potential of what we have available to us, if we can work back and forth, could be amazing. And right now, with the independent scene being picked apart by the WWE and sometimes by AEW, now would be a great time to throw some showcases together before they get picked apart further. Right down there in front, Reed Harris, I say this 100 times, Cruel. That's another one that, when time allows, he's someone I'd love to see come into TOS. There's so many people I would love to see crossover. And it's not like this is a company thing, but it is a company thing. So, I mean, to die on that hill for 2025, I honestly just want to see togetherness, and I just see money. I'm sorry. I see money there. There's a lot of money to be had. And I'm going to tell you.
It's what was happening outside of GCW with all those companies about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. That's kind of what was happening. They were all like just kind of invading. It was cool stuff. Like seeing, like being a GCW fan and seeing that stuff kind of happening outside of GCW, not be able to talk about it, was kind of like, there's a lot of cool things that are happening. And if GCW got involved in some way, and that would be a lot of cool stuff. James asked right here, who would you come with IC NHB there? I want to know that answer.
Oh, if I had to pick through who's been there for the longest time, I mean, oh my goodness. Okay, so I would have to say, Cruel has to be in there. You know what? Just as a turn, I would have Tremont on NHB. I mean, let's just create a little. See, I'm a storyline kind of person. I'd have Tremont go over to NHB, and I think that, Cruel. DeMonto's got to be in there because we need the mouthpiece to, tell the story.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. And it has to come out of directly his mouth. Gosh, when it comes to a fourth, that's where it gets a little hazy. I'll be honest with you. If anybody has a fourth, I'm just giving you the three. See, everybody here that is cruel, cruel, over and over.
That's what killed me. I could just see Cruel sitting in the front with his mask on.
Hey, no shit. I'm just saying, let's have fun with this and stop fucking around. It would be fun and there's money there. You have, see, you have Redacted over there right now. So that's the thing. We actually have bleeding. I said this about House of Glory and GCW. We actually have bleeding back and forth with the, rosters, quote unquote. We could see some people fucking, like fucking each other over. And oh, I was over here for the longest time and you never hired me, Brett. Now that I'm over here, you only want me when I'm blah, blah, blah. And Danny, he was the guy who wanted me when I was in the da-da-da-da. And these stories can really develop into something. And again, I know there's probably a lot of wrestlers and ownership right now going, nah. But I'm open to the idea. And I know that about 80% of the fans are also open to the idea. I want to see some wrestlers that GCW fans don't want in GCW under the NHB name. But I want to see those things. I really do. When is the last time everything's just been unpredictable and fun? I'm dead serious.
Here's a name in like Atticus. Where does he fall in all this stuff? Like someone was saying right here, like he's just I can't find it. Where does it go? There we go. I mean, Atticus is the ICW champion, deathmatch champion, showing up in GCW. Like that, I'm excited to see where he kind of goes with everything and falls into if anything does happen. Because I think he provides everything that you were saying is awesome. Then there's like a whole other thing over there too that could just be brought in. And yeah, I agree with you. A lot of money and a lot of cool things and a lot of cool wrestling stuff to happen for sure. And that's what I was about to say. I wonder that's why I was quickly looking up. I thought that was supposed to come out today, but also hoping it doesn't lead to nothing like last time. Yeah, the Dear Brett Lauderdale 2 video. I'm interested to see what's happening there.
I just feel like whoever brings this together, brings peace, and makes the best for the industry and the fans will look like the bigger person. My question is, who's willing to jump first? And the money is out there and the fans are waiting. Listen, there's a ton of NHB fans that are just waiting for when NHB kicks off some days. And then there are also GCW fans that lay dormant. And then when shit kicks off, they show up. We need to get them together. And I think that would be something really fun to do. I'm going to get so much backlash. People are going to kill me. But I just felt like, why the fuck not? Why aren't the Bulls playing the fucking Lakers? They're different. Their fans don't like each other. Blah, blah, blah. Ownership hates it. Yeah, fuck it. Let the Bulls play the Lakers. And you know what? You were talking, I think Reed, was talking about how, well, who's going to cast it? Well, you know what? If it's a GCW production, it's GCW. If it's over there on HB, it's an HB production. Just keep it at that. Again, I smile thinking about the possibilities of what could be in a market right now where I think it needs a little bit of a kick in the pants in all directions. I feel that deathmatch as a whole, like you were saying, the talent pool, the water level has gone up and it's coming up a little bit more to GCW's knees than it was 3 years ago. The deathmatch community has really grown in a way that I think some people may not have expected. So we see some quality matches in other places where maybe we wouldn't have thought of seeing them 2 to 3 years ago. And so my argument is, let's get them under one umbrella.
Vendetta and MM3 all the time, like that. Those are names I was begging for, and seeing them show up and getting them as often as we gotten them. Yeah, it's been fun. And like you said, there's a bunch of other names out there. The Redacteds out there, the Hoodfoots. Like, there's a lot out there that could, if done correctly, and everybody could just put their egos aside and business aside, or make business, it'd be a lot of cool stuff. But it's wrestling. It's tough. And I like all these ideas. I love hearing.
And it's real business and real money and real emotions and real men with real responsibilities involved. So we have to remember that what sounds good sometimes isn't always maybe the best thing. But in this situation, I feel fairly confident that I would like to see good things happen. I think both men are older. I do see that Danny's the type that he really he wants to make the most of whatever he can make the most of out there. And I think that he would love to do something. I'm not 100%. I don't know. I can't speak for anybody else but myself, but it seems like he's in a position where, you know, he recognizes there's a good thing there. And I would like to see others. I don't know. I'd like to see what's available. I mean, you could look at our chat just fucking blow up the minute that was mentioned. It was just blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, that's money. That's people's attention. That's energy. You can literally see the energy blow through. He says, well, how the smaller deathmatch community is. The dream is for everyone to come together, but for some reason it's nearly impossible. Yeah, so one of the things that's thrown that in the mix, and I won't touch it too much, is something I realized when I started to get into the independent scene. This was a while ago. But in the last decade or so, politics, literal political government style politics, have gotten involved. So there have been enemy lines drawn there that generally wouldn't have been there before the internet kind of told people this is the way you should identify or live your life. And so because of that, I've seen that companies almost break down into who do you vote for, which is bullshit. And it's about wrestling. So, you know, it's just another divider. Fuck that. So, I mean, you guys can, I don't know, I'll get massacred tonight, but my entire message is togetherness, forgiveness, and for the greater good of independent professional wrestling and the fans and ticket price, you know, like ticket sales. I'm not against something like this. And I felt like today's just a nice day to throw it out there because it's New Year's and that's my wish. I'm so... Oh boy. Anything you wanted to say about it that hasn't been said, or, you know?
It's been cool. Like, it was cool watching it happen, like I said, about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And then it would be kind of cool with GCW getting involved or bringing it somehow to their stuff, their programming, because of all the newer names and the fresh names we see in the death matches and the ultraviolet, especially seen in GCW. It's been cool. And a nice little revival is very welcome right now for GCW, I think, with the ultraviolet title.
All right. Since everything's so lively in here, I'm going to try to do something fun. For listeners, I would like to have a Game Changer Weekly end of year award show, and that's going to happen right now. If you wish to participate, type your answers in chat. I want to know, who is your GCW Wrestler of the Year? While they're typing, who do you think, B?
Mance, hands
Mance
down.
Warner?
Yeah.
Oh, also, I want to tell people it's perfectly fine to have the same wrestler in another category. If the person's just kicking ass, then hey. Reed Harris already. Yep, me. I knew it. I knew it. Yep, there's Mancer for great one. Clown, Mance. Reed Harris is still trying to get himself over. But you know what I'll have to say here when it comes down to putting the company on his shoulders and really going out there, towing the line, you know, when it comes to tricking the smarts and really making them feel emotions, I think Mance Warner at this point is the one for me that, you know, makes the most sense. So, wow, a lot of Mance Warners, and it looks like one for Reed Harris Cooper. So it looks like, Coop, I think you lost this one, bud. We'll go ahead and give this one to Mance Warner. So then I'll ask everyone next, who is your tag team of the year? Oof. What do you think? I'm torn. Actually, I'm not torn. I'm just not the biggest fan, but I think that given Violence is Forever has put down a new record on defenses for the tag team titles, I would say that they are definitely in my running right now. They're not what's hot, but they are the ones who have now set a new standard for the tag team championships and how they're defended over that amount of time.
That's all right. Perfectly said. Like, I was thinking the same thing. Like, I want to say Garbage Daddies, but win-loss record and just performance this year, like, yeah, like it's got to be Violence is Forever. And you said it might not be the hot thing now, but can't deny everything they've done over this year. And yeah, that was worded perfectly. I agree right here. My second choice, tied with the Garbage Daddies, a Resin Gringo, man. I've been calling for them to have tag straps for almost all year long, so I'll go with them.
I'm with Great One there. Garbage Daddy should be positioned for the best in 2025, though.
For sure, yeah.
Garbage Daddies are hot, but there was some time off with Cole. He had to do some things and, heal back up and whatnot. So I say that 2025 is going to be runtime. Hopefully they're ready to roll.
And I think what's special about the Garbage Daddies is, I don't know how long they want to play this out, how I would. I would play them out as the faces for a while, let them destroy everybody. Then, like, hey, once they ran out of faces, they're both good heels, and they could just naturally turn heel in the middle of a match and start becoming heels and go through some more face tag teams. It would be fun too. I think they have the versatility to do a lot of stuff with the tag belts, considering depending on how much time they're given to develop all those things.
Do you know if there's been a title holder tag team that has started off as heel and then midway through switched face, or vice versa, and done it purposely and successfully?
Are we talking about like just in GCW or just in general?
In general, I don't know. You just gave me that idea. When you said that, I went, oh shit, I don't know if there's a team who's actually been like total heels and then they flip and continue the rest of their, as a face.
I was just about to say them or the Rockers, because I remember them kind of like the same way. Like, that's what made me think of that. Like, we haven't seen that in wrestling in a while. Like, we've seen this. Yeah, true. We've seen like
did it,
but not as tag champions. Like, I think they could do it as tag champions. Like, I think that's how talented they both could. And Powers of Pain, New Day. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Wow. But
love you guys. This is great.
What if the fix is in for the Daddies? I don't know. What fix do you think is in there? Powers of Pain and Demolition. Yeah.
Again, guys,
I think they're talented.
Everybody always goes, watch what Reed says, but I'm the one going, watch what Reed says. He even said one time, what if Nick Gage doesn't show up to this, and this, and then he didn't. And then you said something another time, I think, about an injury or something, and it happened. I'm like, oh my God, he's got a crystal ball at that house.
I wonder what like the only thing I could see is like Alec or like one of them being fed up. And, like, that's what I was thinking beforehand, but
because you have Cole as a natural face, so eventually Cole and Alec would have to face off in the ring, do a blow off kind of thing.
I think the tag team has to go to Violence ultimately.
So then I'm going to ask everybody next what I feel is the easiest question, but there's two good answers. What is your feud of the year at GCW? Go ahead and write. I already know. But there are two good answers here because someone gave it to me today. Nobody knows what it is.
Mason Holiday? No,
that's a good one. That's a nice slow rolling boil, but I wouldn't put it as the kind of yeah.
I'm trying to think of this, even the second one. I can't even think of the second feud. What's the second one you got?
Effy versus the Cons. I think that was a hell of a feud, bro. That was a feud this year. That moved some numbers, let me tell you. Oh my goodness. Okay, so is there anybody besides Janela and GCW?
Yeah, that one's funny.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Also, just going back for a second, James said, yeah, Price is going to screw Cole. It will be fantastic.
Is interesting. That's an interesting thought.
So honestly, because I know how GCW booking can work, I feel that we're going to get that right there. And I never said it. I really do think that Violence is Forever will win. They'll be sitting in the corner like, fuck, we lost. Like, maybe it was a quick roll up or something. You know what I mean? Like, they still have energy in the tank.
Like a cheat. They've been teasing this cheating for a while.
And maybe Violence is Forever goes over, holds the belt, and they're fucking, gives them the middle finger, and Cole looks down at his fucking.
Well, Violence is Forever is going to throw a fit. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, Cole looks at that ring. He fucking goes up. He's like, let's turn this motherfucker in. Boom.
There's a lot of cool things that could be done with that ring. Yeah. I don't know. Like that. Him going for the tag titles would be interesting.
I just want whatever makes a happy party mood. I'm just looking at it that way. Whatever it is, Let's make it a party.
Somebody said that, yeah, that's going to be a story to tell. Like, I'm just thinking of all these crazy things you could do with the garbage daddies with this thing. Like, yeah, there's definitely, they're the ones to watch out for in 2025.
Well, if Nick Wayne wasn't gone, East West Express would still be rolling through storylines right now. Hey, bless him that he's out there making his money, you know, and looking forward to Jordan coming back eventually in his time too. I know he's working his ass off right now. All right, listeners.
I like that one.
Well, what was this
one? Ciclope versus Miedo next year for feud of the year. Yes.
I'm not against that. I don't know where Miedo is in the healing process, but I'm thinking he has another month or two left before he'd really. But hold
Ciclope.
on. I mean this the right way. Miedo's Mexican strong. And what I mean by that is he's worked injured, popped that shoulder out mid-match, popped that bitch back in, went in, and, you know, so he's strong. Chances are something tells me Miedo may come back sooner than people may think.
Ciclope went in being the question mark in the ultraviolet ladder match and winning and having Miedo come out to kind of take him out would be nice. I don't know. It's still early, but that'd be kind of cool. Ciclope being in there. Because I didn't even think about Ciclope at Hammerstein if he's even going to be there. That'd be awesome to see him, though.
Reed said it right here. He doubles me. Yeah, don't send us home going,
you can't.
Fuck this. Please,
yeah,
we
there's
can't
one
do
way
it anymore.
You can. There's one way you can. I mean, it won't be. No, well, I think whoever, Mance or Effy wins, but I think it's Atticus leaving. I think that's going to be like it's not going to be a fuck you moment. It could be, but I think it's, you make the fans happy with Effy winning and then Atticus going after. I mean, Atticus is going after Effy. Well, wait, that's coming up soon though. So never mind. That puts a hole in my thought. I don't know. I think Atticus ending the night.
Hold on, great one. What's the Rumble tomorrow night?
The Do or Die.
About? Oh, geez. He said a certain Rumble. I thought he was there's like some mystique on another company or something that.
Someone said the Rumble. I'm like, holy shit, yeah, I forgot that's tomorrow. Like it just because it was just announced. Like that'd be in a couple of weeks. It's tomorrow.
Well, I have my brain on BJW tonight because there's that event that's 1:30 in the morning coming out of Japan. So in my head, I was thinking, is Ciclope in that Rumble or some shit? Like, you know what I mean? Well, I'm trying to think what else is really, going to be on a Tuesday.
And see, I was going to talk about that later, like doing the Do or Die with Cole Radrick still having the ring. And then, I don't know, like there's just too many, like, hey, there's going to be like 3 different people that could use the title opportunities whenever they want to. Like, I don't know how I feel about that, but it could be done in a cool way. Like, it just feels weird. And that'd be a good way to kind of do a lot of cool things, but.
I like the idea of having 365 days to spend it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they were saying. Yeah, great one. Well, Cole's Ring's coming up here in April. Collective weekend.
So I really do think this is something a lot of people, I'd say 90% of people I've talked to, think that he's going to turn it in a tag related way. At least for right now.
That'd be interesting.
Okay, so I'm going to get back to this. What is everyone's GCW match of the year? This one I had a hard time with. We have covered so many matches, B. I'm like, fuck. Like off the top of my head, oh God, something at TOS probably. Or
I'm about to say I might have like being in person bias, like Ciclope versus Rena was fucking crazy. Like that was nuts for a main event. Like that one. For me, like that was the first one that popped in my head, but maybe it's because I was there. Yeah, Effy versus Mance, and I quit. I think it'd be an excellent choice. One. Yeah,
I was gonna say the cage, that double cage, but we both felt like that's the one where Allie turned on Effy, but it just felt like that was an empty match where it didn't feel like there was enough people.
No, not even in the top 50. I could put it in the matches, to be honest.
Yeah, Reed said Joey's been killing it all year. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, another matchup I was thinking was what did Masha and Rena, was that Masha and Rena this year or was that last year? That was last year. That was last year. Man, all this time going in, I should have labeled the dates on these ones. Yeah, I guess off the top of my head, I'd have to say Ciclope versus Rena because that was just insane in LA.
Man. All right, let's see if anybody had anything else. See, that's the thing. It's really hard for people who really know their shit because you've probably watched more than a couple hundred matches this year. Patrick Scroggins. I really enjoyed Ruckus versus Speedball Mike Bailey overall, but in person, I saw both Myron Mead versus Jack Cartwheel matches in Indianapolis, and those were bangers. And Myron Reed's one of your people, B.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they had good matches, but I don't know, match of the year. Like, he definitely can. Yeah, Speedball.
Right there. Hold on. He said, I just realized we actually have not gotten the Janela Speedball that they've been working towards. That's true. Reed's got us on another one there. Dang. Oh my goodness.
There's a lot of good matches, especially like even recency bias. I want the Brett called it Mance versus Masha at the last match of the year. Might sneak in the top 10. Like, that was brutal. We'll talk about that later, but man,
look at great one. Out of the box pick, Los Desperados versus Epidemists. And is he talking Eli Everfly?
No. The tag team in LA, like the trios. I think not the trios, it was a tag team. Like they were the first. They were the masked ones that we didn't know. Like that was the first time we ever seen them, but they were crazy. Like at first, like
Spiderfly. Okay.
Yeah, not that. What's the name?
That barely jogs the memory. We just go through what did I say? 460 fucking wrestlers' names this year we went through.
Yeah, no, I remember that match specifically. Yeah, it started off rough, but then it definitely picked up near the end, and the crowd was super into it.
Here comes the next one, guys. Who's the most popular wrestler at GCW this year? Ooh, Bailey and Josh Alexander Bloodsport was awesome.
Popular. I gotta give it to Effy. Yeah, I mean, like, I think overall, yeah, definitely Effy's been the face of the company as the face of the company, I guess.
Quirios has entered the building. Nice to see you tonight.
Yeah, we got Effy. Yeah, Effy's got to be the face.
Effy, yeah, there we go. Look at that. All right, then. One. The most hated wrestler of the year.
That's an easy
that is one, everyone.
Oh, actually, I don't know if that is easy.
There's some people there because Cardona's been a real fucker. Broski's been okay, but a little bit of a fucker too. You know, you have Mason.
I don't want to say this name.
Blake. Reed Harris Cooper said Blake.
That's a good one. Yeah, I was gonna go for Griffin McCoy.
Griffin McCoy
and Morton.
We went straight to the small PP. Small PP Mancer, man. Music Inferno. You got to put that one on there. Put that one on there because I don't want to be quoted saying small PP Mancer and not
with no context. Effy got a mall chant his name. Yeah, they didn't even know who he was. True.
Look at that. Jobber says Cardona for me. I think that. Well,
I'm actually excited. I want to see what McCoy and Morton do next year. Sorry, go ahead. I cut you off.
No, it's fine. I'm laughing. These guys have some great answers. This is going to be fun. Who is the most improved or comeback wrestler of the year at GCW?
Oof.
Okay,
we'll put that back up. Was it most improved or comeback?
Yeah, one.
I think those are two. Those are two different ones because two different names popped in my head right there.
Okay, so let's go with most improved. If anybody'd like to start with that one, or if they want to put comeback, whichever one.
Cartwheel for me. We talked about Cartwheel and everything he's been in the ring.
Answer.
Yeah,
I love that.
He's been the most improved, and seeing Sydney too. Yeah, Sydney was another good one.
Sydney came from the ashes of WWE and rose like a phoenix, man. Sydney's a really good choice. Sawyer, we love Sawyer.
Yeah, that was a good one. Who would be your improved one? Because for comeback, I got a totally different name.
I don't have an answer just yet. Forgive me. Okay, so I will say Cartwheel is a good one because I don't know if you remember, but when we had him interviewed on the show. Okay, Bobby came from nothing.
That's a good one, yeah.
And he's touring in LA with GCW. He's across the country now. That's a good one too. But I remember we had that interview with Cartwheel and he was like, I hope I get some wins at GCW, and like I said, we talked before. I told the guy, I go, listen, you just need some eyes on you. You're going to do great. 6 months later, he got the right eyeballs on him. So,
and we've talked about his improvement every match. Like that's always the word that comes out of my match. Like we see the fluid, his confidence. Like he just improved. Got so confident. Like Comfortable is what I'm looking for. Not confident, comfortable.
Never a bad match with him either. So I'll go with Cartwheel on this one. Really close second on Bobby, and really close third on Sydney too. Sydney has become a star.
My second answer is Masha. Like, Masha's improved her game so much this year on top of last year. Like, I just think she has taken her, even though it was already top of the lane, like, she just took a whole nother step this year as well. Like, that was like actually the first name that I wanted to say was Masha, but Jack Cartwheel, I think, is overall like the most overall improved from where he started off. And like he's been growing so much too. But Bobby Flacco, whoever made that call, clown, that was the good one.
And then we have Jobber Radio said improved is tough, but Myron Reed maybe.
Yeah, Myron. I don't know if he's improved. I think he's just like finally getting the spotlight from it, but he's also been killing it all year long. Yeah, I've been a giant one of his. Comeback for me, I think Justice was the comeback for me. Like I could say Atticus, but Atticus hasn't had a match. They just showed up. But for me, getting Justice back in GCW was one of the pops of the year for me. Just to see him in GCW and back, like he's back in wrestling. So like for me, that's my comeback of the year.
If Microman didn't hit the ground running with fans so well, I would agree with New Music Inferno that he really went from who's that to holy shit, Microman's in here. You know what's funny? The secret to that is it took quality matches, and the secret to quality matches with Microman is the creativity of his opponent. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right. So we had most improved comeback wrestler. If Sawyer Rex comeback was bigger with some wins and whatnot, I would say she was the comeback wrestler. She had my heart. I definitely, was happy to see her come back.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to do this last one. Can you think of any other names, B?
Cloud just said Cardona coming off that injury. Yeah.
Oh, that's a big one. You know what that is, because he has a lot to offer to the company. We saw the Ghostbusters this year, Jurassic Park. We saw some cool shit, and no one else would have brought that to the show. And those are easily memorable moments, thankfully, because he put in the creativity and effort to do that. All right. So our last one, and then we're going to be done with the difficult questions for everyone. Rookie of the Year at GCW. This was their first year at GCW. Who came in and just set the place on fire? Mine is Megan Bain. I think she's the one who went from a heel who some people knew from Japan to an over face where the fans are basically waiting for her to hold a championship. Great one says Brooke Havoc. Clown says Sydney.
I think Sydney was going to be the popular one.
Also going back there, Curios and Milk said, I'm just glad Sawyer got her moment at NGI. Yes, 100%. Very interesting how they did all that and still put over Atticus in the end. But yeah, Sawyer, greatly missed. Very nice person.
Bane's a good, Bane, Sydney, Brooke, they're all good ones. My first one would have been Sydney, but I had an outside the box one, but your qualifier disqualifies me for 2 matches last year. But Fuego del Sol for me, I think. Rookie of the Year, like being able to show what he could do in GCW. Like he had 2 matches in 23. It looked like one was what was it here? One was a tag match, and the other one was a scramble. But I think outside those, I think he's had a really strong gear. But yeah, Bane, yeah, that was the one that kind of just shined right through.
Okay, so that was that. I just wanted to kind of still sitting on hands about Sawyer. Okay, we'll talk about that real quick. My understanding is Sawyer's just out there going to try some different things and follow their heart to see where they want to go. I don't know if they have something in mind or if they're looking to find inspiration, to be fair.
That's part. I think that's the most interesting.
That's the thing. We have Hammerstein coming up, and she's got to hand that belt over. That's not just it's hanging on the ladder. She's got to present it or something.
Yeah.
Also, New Music Inferno said most improved Sam Stackhouse. With the extra spotlight on him, he's really risen to the occasion. I really do think so. That's another good one. Again, we say this. We have so many future stars at GCW, not enough pedestals sometimes. If those belts were just more fluid, we would already have had a Garbage Daddy's run before the injury. We would have had Bane already picking up a championship off of Masha. We would already have someone else giving Mance shit over a belt he knows he already has. These are fun things. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Right now, if I had an IC or a junior heavyweight or something like that, it'd be going on Sydney. Just right there. And then we would be having challengers like Cartwheel for it, Ninja Mag, people like that would be coming in cruiserweight style. Yeah. I have too many good bad ideas tonight that who knows if they'll ever go on.
Here's the best idea right here.
I like that.
Well soon, Jordo.
We love you.
I can't wait. Yeah. I didn't like that little text tweet you sent out today. It kind of makes it seem like he got bad news from the doctor, and I hope that's not the case.
Well, I think he was injured in July. Doesn't that sound about right? July, August. And he said he had 7 to 12 months from that point.
Yeah.
So
he tweeted out something today. Is like something like the nurses are the wardens, the doctor is the jail or something like that. But then like their words is like the sentencing. So it made it seem like he didn't get some good words from the doctor. That makes it seem like his sentence in jail is going to be longer. The injury. That's what I just kind of pieced together. But who knows? Well,
the only other thing you don't want is someone to come back and they're healthy enough to just get injured again when they come back out. So whatever, boy, that poor guy, wrestling's his life.
Yeah. So it says July 8th here, then 9 to 12 months of recovery. Yeah.
And to be fair, then I'd say if you get a chance, go over to Jordan Oliver's page. I don't know exactly where that's at. Maybe grab some merch from him. I'm sure would appreciate that.
Yep. Here we go. The PTs are the guards, the doctors the warden, and their words my prison. So
he's at the mercy of his body and medical science is what that sounds like to me.
Yeah.
So I never say this. I never say it, but if you have the opportunity, please give us a like on YouTube if you get a chance. That's absolutely where we'd like for everybody to watch. It's just a lot more interactive. Follow Body Slam over there on YouTube if you get a chance also. On X, please follow B at GCW Plant Podcast. It's down there. And me at Game Changer Week. I wish I could coordinate my finger. It's right there. And then I guess we can start the review now.
I guess I might as well throw one thing up. I can't find it, so it don't matter. I was going to throw up the body.
Don't throw up.
Yeah, that's it. There we go. Slam Chats. Yeah. Also, if you want to support us or show love to the Body Slam team, Slam Chats is at the bottom. Yeah, that was a good, strong intro there.
I have one more piece that just came across X. I got the final results on my votes. With 276 votes, I'd asked everybody, who do you want to walk out of Hammerstein as your GCW World Champion? Allie Catch, 43.1% of the votes. Effy, 34.1%. Mance Warner, 22.8%. Wow. I thought everybody was all on Mancer. Now something different.
All right, real fast. Yeah, that is actually surprising. I didn't see the results. All right, so I got some start here before we go into the review. So great one. You asked earlier, plans on March 1st. I am lost on that. What do you mean by March 1st?
I know there's a possibility of a show on March 1st. I know Brett was talking about it.
Okay, that's what I was wondering if they're alluding to too, but maybe he had more information than I had. So while we wait for that, Reed. We will see what we have for Hammerstein, because if we get Brett on, we don't know how that's gonna go, that review or anything. We're kind of up there, but yeah, if we could have space there, we'll reach out to you, man.
I know what he's talking about now. Great one. He said March 1st is the next UCC date. I'm not gonna lie, Great one. I am actually saving money for the Las Vegas April thing. Because if I see, that's the problem. I want to make the triangle. I want to do Las Vegas to LA March 1st, to Phoenix March 2nd, back to LA. And I have been told by a random death matcher, be ready at Phoenix. So I don't know what's going on there, but Actually, I'll type it to you real quick so you know, Brant. There you go. So he told me, he said, listen, be ready for Phoenix. So
where'd you type it?
In the private chat thingy there.
Oh, my bad.
The one we never use.
Right. That's why I'm looking at the notes over here. All right, Blake situation. What sudden Blake situation? I guess I missed this the kill off. I saw the video, but I didn't seem like he killed him off here. Let's see if I could get the video real fast.
I have the video right here. Do you want me to kind of just pull it up real quick, like on its own thing, or
are you able to?
Or do you got it? Let me see real quick here.
Actually, I could do it 2 seconds. Let me see. I guess we'll watch it together here. Maybe I missed something there, but I was trying to figure it out, but I didn't. I was in a rush here. Okay, here
Hell yeah, let's watch it. I'm down.
All right. Let me see if I could get this out time too. All right, here we go. Sorry.
They better not have killed the soulless Blake off already. That'd be bullshit. I liked him.
Yeah, that's why I was like, whoa. Yeah, I do want to discuss this here. All right.
Holy shit.
Also share tab audio. So it should share the audio this time.
There we go.
All right, let's get us out of here. Sorry. Dude, it's been a while since I've done this. All right, here we go. Oh, maybe not. I don't know if there's sound.
I hear it. You're good.
Okay.
Feels like the walls are all closing in and the devil's knocking at my door. Whoa, out of my mind. How many times did I tell you I'm no good at being alone? Yeah, it's taking a toll on me. Trying my best to keep from
we got sound, yeah.
My bones. Don't you know how to control when you're not next to me? I'm falling apart right in front of you. Can't you see? I lose control when you're not next to me. Yeah, you're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me.
Oops.
I'm vanilla, baby.
No. Okay, I missed that part. Oh no.
I love it.
No, I missed that part.
Oh wow.
Oh, how we get us back here? What? No. No. Oh my God. No. See, I wanted to see where this character wanted to go. No.
So you think he's done, or you think that's just a?
Yeah, that kind of just seemed like it was done with that character.
I hope not.
I hope not either. Like I wanted to. Oh,
damn it, Reed! Why'd you have to be the bearer of bad news tonight?
I didn't see that ending. I guess I must have stopped like when I saw the eyes closed, and I guess I should have stayed. And I didn't see him open up to normal eyes. No, that sucks.
Well,
yeah, that sucks. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe he has an inner demon. See, I'm hoping the demon is lurking.
I'm hoping we see like a lot, like what the Blackheart had, what Leo Rush had, something like kind of like a Finn Balor. Like I wouldn't mind seeing something. I wanted to see something like this continue on. Whips and chains that have a Hammerstein would be fucking hysterical. Yeah, that sucks. Thanks, thanks, Reed. Yeah, now I'm disappointed in that now.
However, there's always a means to an end, and
True.
Blake is on to something here, and I would be curious to see what happens. But I love dark characters. I love mystery. I feel like what really worked in this story was the lack of story because there was mystique.
Yep.
See what happens.
All right, one last thing before the review here. So great one. Sorry, last one. We are also 9 matches announced for Hammerstein, including spot for Cardona. Maki Ito doesn't have a match. I find that very concerning as well right now. Thoughts?
I would put, again, just for fun, I thought that the best way to get heat would put Atticus in with Maki and just have him beat the ever-loving piss out of her to a point to where the fans feel bad for her and hate him for it.
I don't want him near the Extreme title, though. I don't even want him near the Ultraviolent unless they do something cool, as we were talking about earlier. But I want him just go right to the world title. Like, I get what you're saying and make an impact statement, but then like maybe that's how they get rid of the Extreme title. He's like, fuck this. Like, this is what you're trying to do to me. Like, when I come back, fuck you, Brett. I'm coming after the real thing. If it plays out like that, I'm fine for it, but I don't want to see him actually carry the Extreme Championship unless it means the demolishment of it. But him just coming in beating the shit out of Maki Ito would definitely get the heat on him.
I don't know what else there is to do, because we're in kind of arena situation where it's just held across the ocean and it's not functional. So hopefully it comes back to functionality. That would be, I guess, my wish, no matter how. And if we build a good deathmatch scene, I could see where both could be necessary. But again, if you have to explain the difference between the Extreme and the Ultraviolent title all the time, then there needs to be some form of separation that's a little clearer, whatever that separation may be. And if it has no need, or if it needs to be dormant, then let it be so. I'm still a big fan of turning it into a different title, but that's a talk we've had multiple times before.
Yep. Sorry.
On to the review.
Sorry, yeah.
No, you're good.
All right. GCW's Take Kare. Well, 1 hour in. That was a good, strong intro there.
I felt it was worth it.
That was good. Good talks. All right.
Good old Washington Hall.
Yes, from Washington Hall.
Sorry.
I didn't like seeing so many lights at the beginning, man. I kind of like the darkness, the feel, and seeing those old videos from the Defy. Like you really don't see the fans, but you see like just the light around the ring. Right away, that was my first thought. I was like, oh, too many lights.
That's a good way to look at it, because I know we were talking about mystique or whatnot, but there is beauty in having that muted light that's almost shadow-like. And I think in this situation, it almost would have been better. You know what? It's funny. I agree with you here. You watch enough Defy, you kind of get what they're going for over there. But for me, it was 2 weeks off, and it was great to get back to some independent wrestling. That's kind of how I was looking at it. And I've seen so much Japanese wrestling lately that when I looked at the GCW Take Kare, I thought it was Take Kare. Yeah. And that's why we don't do drugs, John. Washington Hall. I was going to talk about that just for a minute. You could see it was an intimate building. This is the home of Defy Wrestling. It's a 116-year-old concert hall. It was built by Danish immigrants and originally intended as a boarding house for newly arriving Danish immigrants. It was also a concert hall in the front and a boarding house in the back. So now that you've gotten your history in, I will say here, there were only 4 shows left into the Hammerstein show. So I expected some build. I feel we got some of that here. Emma was on the mic to welcome us to the show. The building's acoustics produced a natural reverb that sounded fantastic on the mic. Good job to Ash for picking that up, because it sounded awesome. What are your thoughts there? Anything? You got hit with the mute button. That's our first one tonight.
I'm about to say, yeah, it took an hour. Yeah, I didn't notice anything about the acoustics. My first thing was the lighting, but I was excited to be there because that energy is always wild at that place. And I remember the last shows that they had. They had like a weekend there. A weekend of shows at the Washington Hall that was very awesome, and I was really looking forward to it. Actually, I kind of saw some little spoilers. I didn't turn it off in time, the notifications, but I saw little spoilers on how the craziness of the main event. So I saw this afterwards. I was really looking forward and excited to what I was about to watch, because the reaction seemed good heading into the show.
Take Kare. That's the way I should have said it. Super Hentai said, if they could figure out dimming the lights at the UCC, it would be goated. Yes. Okay, this is funny. I just mentioned Ash. He was showing me there's still like these nice light blue lights that glow on the walls at the UCC, and they're gorgeous. The problem is it throws off the light balance or the white balance on their cameras. if I remember correctly what he said.
I was showing Steph before. I was telling her beforehand, like how before the show, like they were messing with the lights, and I saw like the blue, and I was like, "Oh my god, they should use that." And then by the show started, I was like, "Oh, see, they're down," and you couldn't notice it. But yeah, the blue lights added a cool little feature to the UCC as well.
That was him flipping the lights on and off for me. And the minute I turn them on, I'm like, "Dude," he goes, "No, it fucks up the cameras." I'm like, "Damn," because it looks so damn good.
Yeah, it does. Really I was telling her that I didn't know that's what you were doing when you were gone, but I was telling her like, yeah, there's blue lights up there. That's pretty cool because we noticed like when they added the lights that are hanging, I first remember seeing those. I'm like, oh, those are brand new. So if they could do something with the UCC lighting, that'd be kind of cool.
Agree.
All right, our first matchup of the evening was Effy going against Marcus Mathers.
I'll tell you what, if you're a fan of having different personalities on the microphone like we are, this was definitely a show for you. Emil and Brett Lauderdale were on the microphone for this first match. I noticed here Mathers has been bulking up and his wrestling is maturing. Motivation plus effort seems to always have a positive outcome. Go figure. And here he is with his WWE ID tag in his hand and looking better than ever, physically and in ring. Again, training matters. I wrote here, I wonder if someone like Ricky Morton has ever offered training classes to the GCW talent when they roll through town. You know, imagine the impact. So I don't know. But for me, I just felt like, I wonder if we've talked about this before too. I wonder if the wrestlers grasp the fact that every match on every GCW show is a tryout match. And I don't know, just, I wonder. I always wondered about improvement. I'm dying here. Help me out. What are you thinking?
No, like I get what you're saying. Like, like you're one spot move away in a match to be noticed and viral and boom, picked up in your life change off all that stuff in wrestling. But I don't know. I don't want to say the professionalism of always being on, but taking not a show
the consistency
off,
game,
having a fun match, taking the night off and just relax and having fun with your career and having fun with your art and stuff. Like I think there's a fine line that the wrestlers have to find out. And I mean, you do notice it on certain wrestlers. Like some matches, they're nonstop 100% the same way and they're never going to change. And then you see other wrestlers, like they want to have the comedy. They're there for the fun to enjoy this part of wrestling and how they're performing their art. So I think it does matter. But Marcus, I noticed right away too, like he's taking it more seriously. He's improved on everything. Like I think he's went the more professional way of, hey, I got to turn this into a career instead of some talents as taking shows off or matches off and just having fun. I get there's what you're saying there, but I think there's a balance that the wrestlers got to do.
Well, plus it's GCW. If everything's just going to be dead serious, it's not GCW. So Effy had a devastating spear towards the end of the match that had an amazing impact. It made this great sound that you could hear throughout the hall. I'll talk more about Effy on the other side of the match, though, because I feel the most important parts of his review is what happened after the match was over. If I was to describe this match, though, it was 10 minutes, classic style, no frills, wrestling-centered opener. Our winner here was Effy with the Sack Rider. Is there anything you wanted to talk about with this match before we?
I liked Effy's wrestling. Like, as you said, it was more classical. Like he actually got to show a different side of his style of wrestling that, like, I was kind of going back to what I was saying. Like, this was the more serious Effy. We didn't get the comedy spots and the have fun and the hoorah. Like, he's made mention in his promos. He's got to take this more seriously. He's got to cut out the frills and take Hammerstein more seriously and the opportunity that he has. And I think that's what made this match cool. And it ties into everything you're saying, because he realized what was happening and what Marcus, like even at the promo, hyping up Marcus, like Marcus is on his way up and has a lot of stuff to chase after, and Effy just being a stepping stone. So I enjoyed this match. I wanted to see a little easier match for Effy, because Alley Catch seems to get all the locals and the little easier match, not calling Viva Vanda local, but like Effy's got through some wars, and now someone that we mentioned, Atticus, he's got Atticus here in a couple of weeks. It's like he just has no easy matches heading into Hammerstein, and I like that booking for him. It's going to display his toughness and everything he's gone through. And Yeah, I like I know we're about to get into the promo afterwards. We were talking last week. I missed kind of the matches and the promos leading into each other with no breaks. And first match of the night, I got it on this one. So I was happy on that one. So we'll get into the promo here.
So then he grabs the mic. Effy says, GCW is where people come to wrestle. I like that statement a lot. Allie enters the scene. She says she won't get people thrown off of shows, says she's going to be the GCW World Champion. Effy challenges Allie to come into the ring right now because he wants to get this match over with. Now, I popped. I was thinking we're going to have that qualifying match and we'd have a clear goal for Hammerstein. I'm going to stop right there. What were your thoughts so far with what he had to say there? Because I know you wanted to talk a little bit about it, or should I keep going?
Same with you. I was like, oh shit, like we've been saying about this, like maybe they're trying to solidify the card a little bit more to help the ticket sales or whatever. Like that was my immediate thought too. I was like, oh, we're not going to have this question mark. And maybe this does open up something for Allie or Effy. If they lose this match, it opens something else up for Hammerstein, which is what I was kind of hoping for. So I did pop and I got excited. And like, I think Brett or whoever on commentary made mention too. It's like, yeah, we're going to get this settled now. And I was like, are we really like, is this is the change I think we need right now to kind of get me more excited for, like, not more excited for Hammerstein, but this show, like, that's a big wrench you're going to throw in there. I thought that would have been a cool moment, but Allie was Allie.
Yeah, she was. She said she wouldn't waste it on Seattle. Effy wants her in the ring. Allie comes in and she asks Effy to go sit with the fans. I felt that little exchange there was just a touch awkward for an ending because Effy just kind of left, but the rest was very, very well done. Allie's a heel, but she's playing the martyr that takes down Effy's self-destructive behavior that also affected GCW. I feel like that's the story that she's giving us right now. What I find interesting, though, is that the heel is a martyr. Generally, when you're doing something for the people, it's a, so I want to see more of what's going on there, because maybe she's playing that she's slightly delusional, or maybe she feels like she's the cleaner that's going to come in, and I don't know.
So here's what's making me think too of a possible, like, a draw between these two at Hammerstein, or some, as someone's brought earlier, some fuckery happening, because all their promos are now just centered on those two. They're not worried about the ultimate goal at the end of being the ultimate champion. Like Effy has kind of did it, but now he realizes he's got to stop and he's got to get through Allie first. But Allie's whole focus has been on just Effy. She doesn't care, or doesn't seem to mention the world title unless it just kind of happens like how it did. But it seems like her focus is on there. So I'm interested. Like, I don't know where this match is going to happen on the card. I think it should happen first on Hammerstein to set up the rest of the night, but it's getting there. I'm liking the promo. The promo from Allie was a really good one too. I kind of did like, yeah, go back up to the fans where you like to sit and talk with them out anyway. Like, get out there and go back to where you belong. So I'm enjoying Allie getting in this heel version of her.
Can you do me a favor and highlight Jim's message just for a minute there? He just wants to say good evening, gents, and Happy New Year. I think that's a nice thing.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, sir. So then after Effy leaves the ring, he goes to commentary. Allie is alone in the ring and music hits. Now, I thought this would have been a great single spotlight moment for her to sell the match just a little more, but it actually just ran us into the next match instead. Anything else you wanted to mention on that one before we moved on?
Like, so what match? The match coming up with Viva or the Effy match more?
Yes.
I think that, oh god.
I was looking forward to her maybe saying a little bit more about what's going on between her and Effy. And then she almost has a "you're on the mic too long," and that's when Viva's music hits.
Yeah, that could have worked out too. Yeah. I think what they did, her and Effy did got its point across. But yeah, that would have been more natural to bring Viva out. And that leads us into our next match as Allie Katch goes against Viva Van.
All right. Yeah, Effy jumps on commentary with Brett. I feel that both did a great job selling that upcoming Effy Allie match. It's like, okay, here's what I think about it when he's on commentary. It's like Effy's in the match mentally, just not physically, and we can hear what he's thinking. That's about the best way I can put him jumping on the mic, and I feel like it's really useful for telling a story. There were heavy Viva Van and welcome back chants. She's fresh out of the NJPW dojo. She's had 4 matches at GCW. 3 of them were singles matches. Her first was against Billy Starks. Second was the memorable one with Man Like Darius. And this one that we had earlier was her third. Her 4th match was the clusterfuck in April. Also, Viva is the current BTW Women's Champion, 1,179 days, 8 championships to her name, averaging 452 days per title reign. I put in here, Allie was dominating Viva, almost mocking her at times. Allie on her own and doing heel work is satisfying to watch, I wrote, because she's getting a response. If she used Blake's obnoxious swinging the belt between his legs character, I think she'd be on another level. I do like her as cocky and always fucking with the fans, be it before, mid, or after the match. What were your thoughts on this match?
I was happy for Viva to get this spotlight match against Allie. Allie looked really strong as the heel in this one. I kind of like how she was more dominant and just playing with Viva. How I wish it kind of would have been booked for her to be a little bit strong, booked a little bit stronger for Allie. Overall, I thought this was a showcase match for Allie, and the run-in with Effy at the end to save Viva was a nice tease to the Hammerstein match. Oh, we didn't get there yet. Sorry, my bad.
So Effy runs to the ring. Effy and Allie start fighting. Referees and staff unsuccessfully attempt to separate them multiple times. They finally separate. Fans say, let them fight. I felt it was a good ramp up to their storyline, and they're really selling their asses off, and that is very apparent.
Yeah. Just like Vipers and doing a bad job having Allie be a threat. Thank you, Reed. That's what I was saying too. Like, I think this one was a little bit better. I think Viva should have gotten a little bit more offense than, let's say, Vipers against Allie. But that's what I've been saying. These matches for Allie, she needs to be more dominant to be more of a threat to Mance Warner. Because, yeah, Mance Warner's definitely threatening right now. All right, our third match of the evening was a tag team match with Janela going against the Bollywood Boys.
All I know is that Janela really likes wearing Megan's gear. I was laughing at Megan trying not to laugh during the entrance. I'm watching her walk around. She is so fucking over with the women, with the men. It doesn't matter. A win over Masha for the JCW was written in the stars a month ago, in my mind. We had Future Joey. He got to wear the headpiece when Now Joey placed it on his head. And if anyone has seen any posts from Future Joey on X lately, he now has a Florida man outfit. So we'll see how that goes. There were tons of Bollywood cheers. They're in their home territory here. Big fan of what Bollywood brings, honestly. It's the feel-good music, and then the bell rings, and they tear it up in the ring. If our belts were passed around more, I'd love a small 2 to 3 month run just to see what the fans do with Bollywood. What are your thoughts on maybe a small run here or there?
I think small runs should be happening a lot more in wrestling, and especially independent wrestling, when you don't know how long you're going to have these talents. Might as well. I get long-term story booking wise if you're able to do it, but I'm all for like 2 months, 3 months, 2 shows, 3 shows runs, especially in independent wrestling, if it makes sense. Because like, let's just think about the GC. I was thinking about this during the Mance Warner match with Masha. They made a mention of all the past GCW champions. It's been Ricky Shane Page, Nick Gage. I mean, AJ Gray, but like, unfortunately, he wasn't able to defend it. But I mean, that was a quick little turnaround. It was something cool. AJ Gray could have his hangout, and like, we could go to that moment. But Cardona, and that's been like what, 4 or 5 KTB if we want to really go deep into it. But there's been all these years, and there's been 4 or 5 champions, and I think those stories, like, you could do a lot more title changes and stories quicker, and I think it would be kind of cooler to switch up some of these titles, especially I think the lower level titles, not the world title all the time, but especially these lower level titles, to give these shows some surprise, cool, holy shit moments. Not everything has to be predictable, and we can't wait for the garbage artists to win the tag belts. Like, I would have loved to see this night Masha beat Mance and just throw a wrench into the Hammerstein. Like, just little shit like that would be cool to keep the predictability down at live shows.
Interesting thing I wanted to mention. Most listeners know that I will sometimes put out polls that say, okay, this show's coming up. this person versus this person, who wins. You were talking about predictability and how things should kind of jumble around and move and mix just a little bit. The fans predicted every single winner of the matches that night. Every single one.
And I get sometimes it makes sense. Like, obviously, like, we want these names are going to go into Hammerstein winning against the names that have nothing to go with. Like, I get that. That's just simple wrestling, easy booking. But, like, I don't know. Like, just with some stuff, like as you said, the quick little title changes, like, would mean something to the fans going to these shows and being unpredictable. Like, I just think the wrestling has become now we got to set up and plan and get the fans ready for this big moment. And then it kind of like, cool, we get the moment and then it's done. I think wrestling's gotten focusing on that too much instead of just a quick surprise here, surprise title change at a house show, surprise this, like, surprise the fans. Cause that's who the fans like go to the shows and they want to be surprised and not be, I predict this is going to happen. Just know everything. So I want more unpredictability in wrestling.
You know, it's really funny. You and I were talking about the opposite, probably about a year and a half to 2 years ago. We were saying we wanted a little more continuity at times with certain things. And then it almost is like, we hear you. And then they crank the volume up to 11 instead of 9. And now we have almost too much continuity. And with the way independent wrestling is, it's always, oh, you're thinking differently.
I think it's different continuity wise. Like, I'm thinking wins and losses. Like, there is no continuity. Like, it's just random and just mixing it up. Like, for me, I want the continuity and like wins and losses and run-ins and everything to mean something, like just to go with the flow of the show, not just sprinkling everywhere. Or GCW, yes, you could have your spotlight matches and special show matches here and there, but I just wish wins and losses would mean something more continuity of like why. Like, Allie being thrown in this match made zero sense to me, even getting this opportunity. If you go look at her win-loss records, even just recently, it for me, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I went to watch. Okay, yay, Speedball won. Okay, next week, you like lose, like not even in a title match is going against someone else. Like, so whatever I did watch is not getting rewarded in future shows. It just feels like, oh, let's just make this group happy and let's just make this group happy. I want more continuity, as you said. It makes more sense.
Interesting. Halfway through this match, and I'm seeing this show has been very wrestling heavy so far, and fortunately, it kind of carried throughout the evening. Bane was slamming both Bollywood boys, and it created this huge pop. The double clothesline tope suicida, also highly impressive. Our winners here with Janellis's, I wrote that this entire thing ends up with everyone dancing. It was half fun, half serious. It was putting a smile on people's faces. When they were dancing at the end, all of them together, it was funny to actually watch some of them try to dance. I'm like, geez, these guys are feel good. Like, Bollywood is a feel good group. And I feel like that's something that really could be of benefit for a championship run of 2 to 3 months, just to, get a taste. And then when Bollywood goes somewhere, because I do strongly feel that they have a place, we could at least say former GCW champion Bollywood boys. And I think we should be putting like a WWE tag on more of that, like a GCW tag where, hey, we tagged them. They were champions here first.
I think they need to like strike while the iron's hot and not having to wait and plan these moments where then it's too late to have these cool moments. Like, I think Bollywood boys is like a good example of places like Defy or the Seattle, Washington area, like where if you're going to be doing shows up there, that would be cool for the crowd to see. But then my continuity wise, like, why they even get a title shot? Because they didn't have it. Like, I know what you're like. I love the Bollywood boys. We saw them first in LA. Like, we were like, yeah, they
were over.
Like, they were, the crowd was into it. They went into the GCW style matches right away. Like, I'm a big fan of Bollywood boys. I would like to see them travel a little bit more with GCW. For me, I just knew this match was going to be a fun one just because of the Bollywood boys and Joey Janela. And this was a fun match, and I just hope Joey didn't seriously hurt his knee going into Hammerstein. It kind of looked like he hurt his knee earlier in the match, and they kept on bringing it up. And like I said, this goes into what I was saying earlier, like these injuries and just this Hammerstein show is just seemingly cursed right now. And it's like, it's unfortunate. I hate saying it even, but it's an unfortunate another little thing where like I'm wondering now next time I watch it, or now every time I see something Joey, like, is it an injury? Is he going to be okay? Is Hammerstein going to be all right? Like, hopefully all's well with Joey though.
You know how it is. If your girlfriend's pants fit, wear them.
Next matchup was a open challenge as Cody Chun came out for an open challenge.
Together, Cody and Guillermo make up the tag team C4. They were the Defy tag team champions less than a month earlier. And in total, they are 3-time champions. Their other 2 title reigns were as the Prestige Tag Team champions twice. They've been together since December 8th, 2018, and they've fought 81 recorded matches. Cody Chun was the Defy Primo Lucha champion, but lost it to his own tag team partner, Guillermo Rosas. So he's now the current champion. These guys are playing some inside baseball, I think. It's always a treat watching longtime partners fight. The Seattle fans were definitely into it. Rich, I didn't catch his full name, jumped on the mic, did an excellent job with Emil. There were C4 chants that would not stop throughout the whole match. Our winner here was Guillermo Rosas with a very quick roll-up. What were your thoughts on this local Defy match, I guess would be a good way to put it?
It was a cool switch up, unpredictable. Like I enjoyed it just because, like, wait, his partner's coming out. Like I felt like Demolition 1, or Smash and Axe coming out number 1 and 2 at the Royal Rumble. Like they got to fight against each other. Like I thought that was cool. You would have gave me a million guesses. I wouldn't have guessed his partner coming out to accept the open challenge, since they both didn't have a match. And I enjoyed it. I know the crowd was a very crowd friendly match. They enjoyed it. I liked how they kind of held back against each other, but didn't want to a little bit. And I like the creative finish at the end. Just a quick little slip into the pin and just outsmarted your tag partner for the victory. It was a cool way to get a victory without having to tease any dissension between the group. And good match for the crowd. Our next match was the Bloodsport match, as it was Josh Barnett going against the one called Manders.
Maybe I'm the only one. I didn't know I needed this match till it was announced. And I went, oh shit, I have a feeling these two moose are going to fucking go at it. And that's exactly what they did here. Throughout the match, Bloodsport chants from the crowd. I felt this was very rough for Manders. He's fighting Josh Barnett in his hometown at his own style of fighting with all the fans behind him. Manders fought until the end, but was eventually choked out. Our winner was the War Master, Josh Barnett, and fans were chanting one more. I'm really surprised by all that, but hey, man, if they're happy with it, and again, this is Josh Barnett's territory, I think it's really cool that he has all these fans backing him up and saying, yeah, man, we want more of this. This was cool.
I am on the opposite end of with you there. I knew I wanted to see Manders in Bloodsport. Like he just fits right in. Like I said, for me, like doesn't fit into the MMA mold, but he fits into the country strong. I'm going to throw you everywhere, strike you and lariat you for the win. I think he has a good spot in Bloodsport. So I was excited for him to go against the legend himself in Bloodsport for his first Bloodsport match. I thought was very cool. I think Manders held his own. I like when he threw Barnett out of the ring, because we don't see too much of that in Bloodsport because it is like against the rules to do anything outside. But I'm glad we got to see some action outside the ring. Manders got to throw the big guy out, and we get to see what happens. And he has to let him back in and not attack him. So it added a cool little wrinkle to the rules that we see at the beginning of these, and it explains and it's showcasing what happens in these situations. Which is, if they're going to continue to do this Bloodsport, I hope we keep getting little tweaks to these matches to show why these rules are in place and how they're going to be enforced, because I enjoyed that little wrinkle too. This one, it added a little bit different difference to the end. Manders lariating in the pole and then getting choked out, flipping off the camera, I thought was a beautiful Bloodsport ending for Manders, and I want one more for Manders. So, like, actually, since we haven't heard a name for Barnett. The longer we were going, I was kind of hoping Manders would be the Hammerstein opponent if it wasn't going to be like a big name. But seeing Manders in Bloodsport match was cool, and I do want to see it happen again sometime soon. After made the thing. All right, so Reed, I kind of caught the promo. I didn't go back and watch it like I wanted to. What was the thing? I didn't hear any teases from what I kind of gathered. It kind of just seems like he's still waiting for someone to step up. What is the thing there, Reed? Did you catch it, John? Maybe.
You know what? I don't remember. Honestly,
I know he was hyping up Manders and saying like this is what Bloodsport's about, but then I don't like talked about how the match came together. Oh, okay. After it made the thing. Okay, I may have to go back and listen to it again. Yeah, I'm still interested to see what happens at Bloodsport. We still don't have any names, and I like the surprises and stuff, but I think business wise and ticket wise, they might need to start selling some names there to get the fans more invested and more hyped than just seeing question marks.
Very interesting. Yeah, I'm curious to see where it goes, and I like to see that there is some support from the fans for something that I feel like is very important to GCW as a bridge to other companies.
So brain thing here.
Also, I'll mention here that this was where Mason and Perro's video played. That's the one that we had last week on the show. Again, I'll say it. Well done by everyone involved, and the effort definitely shows.
I liked Mason's little tweet too that he made out today. He's like, yeah, I finally being able to be that close to you after you put me behind bars. I kind of froze and didn't know what to do because I was just in awe of the moment. I'm not going to let that happen again. I love it. Barnett's opponent is question mark, not quite, but 3 question marks. Okay. Internationally? Oh.
Intentionally, yeah.
Oh, intentionally. I don't know. What's the 1 or 3 have to? I don't know.
No clue.
I'm still hoping it's Lashley, but I think right now that's a big ask. All right, our next matchup: Rich Swann going against Gringo Loco.
Smart booking by someone with a long entrance after Bloodsport so the crew can get the ring set up. Also smart that 2 high-speed stars pick the energy back up. I thought that was well done here. Rich Swann comes out as Grinch Swan. He's doing the kid and play dance with Emil. Scarlett trying to keep a straight face. One half of the Defy Tag Team Champions walks out. That's Gringo Loco. He's partners with Arez as Los Desperados. Brett and Joey were on the mic together for this one, and at one point they mentioned the Big Show. Why isn't there a much smaller wrestler who's known as the House Show? Where are you, Marco Stunt? You ever thought about that? You have the Big Show, and then you have a much smaller, like Micro Man, and call it the House Show?
I got it. I got it. I like it.
East Coast correspondent Frank also got a hold of me to tell me he likes the Japanese style turnbuckles. I love those turnbuckles when the blood smears on them. Huge idea here. GCW needs an all white ring for shows like TOS, white ropes, turnbuckles, and canvas. I don't know if anyone else has ever done that for any type of a deathmatch tournament or anything. Wouldn't it be cool to where you could see every drop of blood that hit the mat? White everywhere. Turnbuckles white, ropes are white.
I like that idea. You won't be able to use them again ever, but I like the idea for sure as a one-time only thing.
Yeah, I mean, you could wash the ropes, you could wash the turnbuckles, the canvas. I don't know, man. You're going to be using it. And I don't know, sell pieces of it if it's a good show. Highly impressive match between 2 very good wrestlers is what I've written here. Our winner was Gringo Loco with a very impressive base bomb on Rich. Oh, we love the Gringo. Chance also had never stopped. Gringo Loco definitely has a lot of support in Seattle. This is almost a 20-minute match. What were your thoughts on this one?
Rich Swann is in incredible shape, man. He just looks better and better. I loved how much fun he's having right now. The Grinch character was, or the Grinch suit was cool. I knew he was dying to take that thing off though, because as soon as he took it off, you could just see him just still drenched in sweat. I'm loving seeing Rich Swann having fun again back in wrestling. I really liked him for a while back in WWE. Then I kind of seemed like he got the same and stagnant. And I'm loving this kind of, even though it's still the same Rich Swann, the enthusiasm's different. The movements is more, but like with reason. Like he's improved a lot too. And I was happy that him and Gringo got 18 minutes to have this match, and it was a good solid match. And I think you said too, I didn't even think about that after like the blood sport and everything, to have this match is good because it's going to get the crowd back into it, and Rich Swann dancing is going to get them into it, and it takes the time away of still doing the cleanup while his entry. Like that was a good catch by you. I never even thought of that, and that Rich Swann was awesome. I want to see him back in GCW more and more and more and more, because his energy and enthusiasm is contagious for sure.
And I will, just before we close, say he looks in fantastic shape. And I know I said that before, but hard work pays and he looks good. Looks to me like he's making a run on his career.
Yep.
He's upgrading himself, and good for him for doing so.
All right. Our next matchup of the evening is Dark Sheik versus Tara Zepp.
I've got some notes here. Sheik did pretty good considering the circumstances. I'll start there. My next note, and my only other note here, I have I put in Tara Depp. I see Tara Zepp. Apologies. I see the potential. She has a good look and understands poses, but fundamentals are not fully there yet. Maybe 85%. That just takes time and practice, but I don't think that should be on the GCW stage in a singles match. Every performer has been where she's at today, so it's nothing to be ashamed of at all. If she was necessary, I would strictly have her in scrambles matches with a couple big spots. Her look would carry her through those matches. She'd stick out in the crowd of wrestlers, building her mystique until she's ready. Then when it's time, unleash her. I feel like that's when you'd have a star. I wrote here that our winner was Dark Sheik with a guillotine leg drop. Any thoughts on this match whatsoever? Because I felt like it just wasn't where it needed to be, and I felt like Dark Sheik did their best.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was happy to see Tara Zepp get the opportunity against Sheik as well. I think like Tara's like good in like the crazy matches, like the ECW gimmick kind of matches, not like the one-on-one in between the bell and ropes and stuff like that. Like her chaos and her energy, and like as you said, she knows the poses and how to get the crowd behind her and everything. Like I just think her just going crazy fits that kind of style matchup a little bit better than a more one-on-one classic style. So I prefer to see her in those style matches, as we've kind of seen her in other promotions. But I think she did a pretty good job in this one. I like her energy and like how she just always goes crazy, balls to the wall there. And yeah, the crowd was behind Sheik for sure too. Our next matchup is Broski Jimmy coming out and taking Matt Cardona's spots against Super Crazy.
Jimmy's promo was talking about being part of a great promotion like Ring of Honor with a great boss like Tony Khan. I like how Allie and Broski Jimmy have kind of been leaning into reality with the AEW situation and kind of getting people taken away from their jobs and whatnot. I wrote here that Jimmy's 25, Super Crazy is 51. Are they father and son because they look and are shaped exactly the same? It actually threw me off. I had to memorize which one had the Super Crazy shirt on. Luckily, it was Super Crazy. This was definitely a weapons match. It took about 39 seconds for Jimmy to build a door bridge. That's something worth knowing. This is only a 9-minute and 24-minute match, so 40 seconds kind of eats into it a little bit. Ring crew and security were standing right there watching him build it. No one can help. This is still a glaring issue in independent wrestling I'd love to see fixed at some point. Super Crazy hip toss Jimmy out of the ring and onto the door bridge below on the floor. I thought that was a huge spot. Our winner here was Super Crazy. Any thoughts on this one? Aha, you got bit twice tonight by the mute snake.
God damn it. I'm looking down to my notes. I enjoyed the promo from Jimmy. I'm glad to see him. I feel like he's shining right now in these like special spotlight singles, like the main event against Justice, this one against Crazy. Like, I think he's really shown his value to GCW during this little run that he has, and I think he's getting himself over more with this character too, and getting the heat on him. And I think he's been doing a good character work. I know it's kind of time coming up here, but I wonder what's going to happen with this Broski Jimmy character, and him fitting in for Cardona and then taking the L for this match was a good preview for Super Crazy heading into Hammerstein. And I enjoyed the finish. Like, Super Crazy just outsmarted him. He's like, watch this, motherfucker. Oh, I missed the back thing. And nope. I like him, just like hooked him in. Like, he fell for it. Like, it was so smooth. Yeah. And I loved that finish. Another smart, untraditional finish that I enjoyed.
Old school tricks, man. Every time you think you know something, someone brings out one of them old school tricks.
Yep. I enjoyed it. All right. Our main event is the GCW champion Mance Warner defending it against the JCW champion Masha Slamovich.
This is almost a 23-minute match. This is everything I feel that I wanted between Masha and Mance. I'm thinking when they first got this story together, though, how are they going to tell this story? Both are title holders. Both have been GCW World Champions. Masha sits with 21 title defenses to her JCW title. Mance has racked up 27 title defenses on the World Championship, and both are used to holding on to their titles. I wish there was more build to this one. Luckily, we had enough going in, though. Brett said if Masha wins this match, she would be the one to face the winner of Effy versus Allie. And then it would become a three-way between Effy, Allie, and Mance to open the show. And the winner would then face Masha for the GCW World Championship. That was a wild little thing he came up with there. And for her to lose, I was like, wow, really? Because again, we don't see Masha with a match yet, but I feel like, Reed and you guys kind of cleared that up earlier.
I thought that was interesting. Brett made that comment too, because I was like, why is he mentioning that? Like, is like, I guess it's smart to make it like to get me even thinking, is there a chance? And like, that goes to the unpredictability of it. Yeah. So I enjoyed it. And that caught my eye too. I was like, why is he mentioning this? Like, is there a chance? And the way the match was going and turning out, it was intense. And Brett, but that little comment though did spark my kind of curiosity for sure.
Scarlett Donovan was officiating the main event. Very cool. This match had trash cans, tables, chairs, and Mance brought the screwdriver back out of retirement. Mance was rough on Masha, as he should be. It made him look meaner, and Masha looked tougher for taking it. I'm a big fan of beatdowns. Masha went full Crimson Mask. She was sitting quite high on the Muda scale. Mance was opened up minutes later. Masha built a door bridge at 20 seconds flat. Not bad. That's half the time it took Jimmy the previous match. Always loved the side view close-up of blood dripping down Mance's nose. I feel like we've really capitalized on that view. It was the first fight of the night that actually hit the stage. I thought it was cool that they left off a spot like that until the very end of the show. Masha almost had Mance put to sleep, and out came that screwdriver. It's back. He stabbed her repeatedly in the head. He hits a DDT and covers 4-3. Our winner here was Mance Warner. The crowd reacted to huge boos. The Smarts were clapping. Both wrestlers were awesome, and I felt it was a great way to end the show. What were your thoughts on this one?
All right, I'm going to give my serious thoughts here, but do not let me forget to bring up a question to you that's totally not serious.
Perfect.
Let me get the notes. Sorry. Before the match, I liked the video package that they showed of their past and Masha choking out Mance for a victory. That kind of was that was the visual that I had in my mind when Brett made that comment about if Masha were to win. So I really enjoyed that video package. We need a lot more of that, especially against wrestlers who kind of have wrestled against each other in the past. Seattle got a treat for the main event. JCW versus GCW, champ versus champ. You made mention of all the title defenses there. I don't think this hurt Masha one bit, even if she didn't look as impressive as she did. Even if she just came and got stomped, it's like, hey, she's the JCW champion, even though she was a former GCW world champion. I just think that just shows, as you said, where the levels are of the belts, of where the talent are too. So I think she did an excellent job though. Like more than excellent. I'll get back to this, but great match. Mance is making it very hard to justify taking the belt off him right now. This was another classic, bloody, violent GCW main event. As I kind of started watching GCW events, and this is how it felt. Mance once again has restored the feeling. Masha continues her amazing ascension and continues to take her game to the next level. Awesome main event. Bravo to both. Great job on commentary with Brett and I believe it was Emil there, making it feel like there were times that Masha was going to get the victory. But wow, like that main event, I say, Mance, thank you for restoring the feeling. Masha, without all that blood and everything that she did, and as you said, the ass whooping that she took from Mance, like Masha was the star of this match, in my opinion. Like Mance beat the shit out of her. Like those, like that one forearm thing's like totally just like knocked her out of the ring. I love it because she said this is what Mance is. Like Mance is not gonna let this belt. Like Brett made a comment like Mance needs to win this match, or else he doesn't have a Hammerstein match. Like Masha doesn't need to win this belt, but Mance needs to win to keep the belt. And Mance and Masha delivered a classic. I loved all the blood. I think it was Wrestling with Kindness made a mention of that. Another matchup at Mance's main event that shows us that you don't need to get quote unquote ultra violent to have a bloody, extreme war of a match to close out a show. And these two knocked it out of the park there. And yeah, Masha is just super impressive, man. Like we have a gem in her, honestly. Like it's really cool to see what she's able to do and all these cool different styles and how much she has improved in her time in GCW. As Reed, though, you mentioned earlier, I think she improved in TNA and she's brought that down to GCW this time, where her first time, though, she took all the things that she did in GCW and turned that and translated that into her first TNA run. You're going to get hit by the mute button this time. Yes. It's not me this time. Yes.
So you had a question for me, you said.
Oh, yes. Okay, you brought up the time it takes to put the tables up.
Yes.
I think we need an ultra violent wrestlers all-star games, like how fast it is to set up a table, how fast it is to set up spots and stuff. Like, you know, they got the 3-point
like
contest,
the Olympics,
slam dunk contest, like how fast it is to build up a door bridge and how fast it is to set up this spot and stuff like that. They should do like little mini games like that.
I love it. Have 10 chairs and see how many you can throw in the ring without hitting anyone or hurting anyone.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's coming, you know, wrestling is evolving. So
I enjoyed that little wrestler. The masked wrestler show was pretty cool to try to figure out which wrestler it was with their movesets and mannerisms. I actually enjoyed that show. I think I should go back and watch it now. I'd be a little bit more better than I was then because I didn't know a lot of independent wrestlers there. But some of them you could just tell the mannerisms of who it is.
So some of those guys got blackballed. They got found out later in the industry amongst their peers, and some of them got blackballed from the industry. I don't know if you knew that or not. Yeah, that's a really rare. A couple of wrestlers were talking to me about that. Otherwise, I would not have known it all, and it just would have been that show from the 90s or 2000s. But yeah, I guess within the industry, someone had said, "Hey, I was on the show," or someone else did, and at least a couple of those guys were blackballed from the industry for it.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Never knew that.
We were still on the cusp of it being kayfabe, and so anyway. So that was GCW's Take Kare. I thought it was pretty good.
That main event though, that was a special one. That was just the classic ones. Like that what makes me not want Mance to lose this belt to Hammerstein. I don't know. Like it's going to be interesting what they do because he's on. It's making it hard to justify taking it off him at this point, and that's good. Like that's what you want. Like not making it easy to take it off him. Like you're going to have to pry it, and that's even if he loses, there could be a lot of backlash there too at this current state of his run.
I don't even know what to predict on the Hammerstein. I've heard people even say we might have a 3-way. I kind of hope not, but it could go that route.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Then when we break down here tomorrow's show with the Do or Die Rumble, that's just going to add another little wrinkle to everything as well.
I don't know, man. I'm a big Mance Warner fan. I do see Effy earning his stripes though and getting his. And I feel like with Allie, we're 2 years past when she should have been it, because I'll still stick to it to this day. I feel Allie should have been the first female GCW world champion, because I felt that at that time she had earned it more than any other female that was in regular rotation at that time. There's quite a few people that forget that Allie was at one point the one. And anytime we went to anywhere, it was Allie fighting the one local female available at that time. So, I mean, she had what was available to wrestle with. And if not, then she was on to whoever else was, around and at that show that she was matched with. So I feel like she's done the hard miles, and no disrespect to anyone else, but at that time, I felt like Allie was the one that had earned that position and carried the flag for so long that it would have been a good one to put on her. And not having one at this point is kind of odd. And I feel like putting it on her is maybe just, I don't know. I know she's earned it. I feel like the fans feel like she's earned it. In my personal opinion, it stays on Mance. So, James, I'm not being a hater, but I don't like Allie being involved. I don't see any reason Effy and her have to face each other for Mance. Doesn't make sense to me. I agree with James. I would almost feel like we were talking where the qualifying match would be on a different night. That would be a main event, easily sellable. You would actually have a main event that, can interrupt the main event of the Hammerstein show, their big show. So I'm actually there. No, you're not a hater at all, James. You're just a man with an opinion, and you're giving it. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. We do that all day long around here.
I wouldn't even mind. Like, I know we said we gotta give Effy his time. Why? Like, I mean, I get why you want to do.
Yes, no.
Does this second Hammerstein show have just as much value and as importance as if it was the only first one as that one? Like, I don't think a win here is going to make up for what happened at the previous one. Like, yeah, it might be like a feel-good moment, but this is what I was talking about. Like, you missed, like, we're planning out something that we could have missed already. And like, that now is going to punish Mance. And I just don't think it title-wise for me. Like, I don't want Mance to lose this. I want to see what Effy could do as world champion, but now I don't feel it's the time. Like, unfortunately, even though it's Hammerstein time, I don't think it's anybody's other time than Mance's right now. And here we go. Only reason I see Mance winning is announced London match. Yes, I would want to see Drew Parker take the belt off Mance in London. That would be my
really.
Oh yeah, I would do that, and that'd be like Mance, he just won Hammerstein. He's not going to lose that belt anytime soon. Bam, Drew Parker in London, like.
Well, Drew, okay, so that's kind of cool. That would be like a British Bulldog moment. I do like that idea. You know what I mean? Like the British Bulldog walks out in his home territory and gets all the cheers and goes in there, beats the shit out of the champion, takes it for 1 night, 2 nights, maybe an extensive 6-date run, which is very possible. But holding on to that title for like a year to 9 months would be difficult for a Brit to stay in America you know what I mean? And that's the only thing I look at. So maybe a 2, 3, 4 month run, if he's capable of it, to get some American money isn't terrible for him.
I'm even for a little screw job, and then like, hey, no, that like I said, I'm still waiting for Drew to get that moment, everybody go happy, and then Mance Warner drags out a referee. It's like, no, like this ain't the real what really happened. Like that would be a cool moment. But I think it goes into sports where like Mance Warner, like you just got done Hammerstein. This is like a letdown match and a letdown performance going into a Giants name after like what you just had. Like, with sports teams, they look ahead or like, hey, like Mance is focused on Allie and Effy right now. And so he's got 2 opponents. And all right, now that he's won, he's going to take the time off, but then Drew comes in and just perfect timing. Like we see the upsets like that in sports all the time. And I would like to see something like that. That would be London and Drew winning. It would be very cool for me.
James just asked, do we see WWE getting involved at all in this show? Further down, perhaps a WWE guy in Bloodsport match versus Josh Barnett. That would be the only place I feel where one would be, unless we have another JBL style run in where it's just a quick clothesline and bounce out, which is very possible. But again, if you're just gonna like just nail one of our stars and leave with no story, that we already had Jeff Jarrett kind of bail in that sense. So
I take Jeff Jarrett. At least he had a match.
True. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting ways.
That's why if Bully shows up and does that shit again, I might not have to be able to do this review with Brett.
I'll look at it this way. Tony Khan is really in a situation possibly where if the Hammerstein is so, Tony could be looked at as the guy who did not help a young company or the independents flourish, which was one of the things he said he wanted to do from the beginning. He did not let his performers take jobs that they wanted to take when they did not have any work given to them. And he took that away from them, which is almost, again, completely the opposite of his intended purpose when he started his company. And at a time where WWE has now spiderwebbed out to the independents and they're starting to take the best talent they could find at an early age, the last thing AEW should be doing right now is not working with GCW. They need GCW more than they know as a pipeline to help them also get talent working the way up. I just look at it that way because otherwise I could see WWE now choking AEW out of the independents. And AEW now is just picking through what's left. And we're seeing this quite a bit. Anyone who becomes an AEW star just moves to WWE anyway. So at this point, I would like to see the independents work hand in hand, if at anything else, to get Ring of Honor back to possibly its previous glory, which we know would be very difficult to do, but it's always a possibility. So I look at it in that sense. I feel like AEW needs GCW. Otherwise, what is their connection to independent talent? I mean, really, what companies? They have House of Glory that'll do some things, a couple others, but they don't have, even then, most of those people at House of Glory are going to be picked up by WWE and they're going to be ID'd well before AEW can do it. I feel that they need each other more than they really are letting on.
But here's my thing. I feel like AEW does need all these other like partnerships, not just independent GCW. Like look at like the New Japan stuff. But I feel we're seeing like a constant, like it's the same story we're seeing over and over with AEW and what they do with their partnerships. It's always for their gain, and the partnerships really don't get much out of it compared to what AEW gets out of a partnership with these other companies. Like Gabe Kidd from New Japan is saying it perfectly. Like, why the fuck do I want to go to AEW based because I'm a New Japan? They're just going to throw me on Rampage or Ring of Honor. Like, You know who the fuck I am in New Japan? You know who I am just in the wrestling world, and you're going to treat me like that? Like, it feels like he does that because he's afraid of other people getting bigger. Like, it came to backfire on him. Like, I go to the what's her name? Just recently in WWE, they put her on a show against Mercedes, and then boom, WWE picked her up. It's like I think he's afraid of that happening, but instead of like use their partnerships to benefit both companies and not just yours, because you're going to start burning these bridges that realize like they're not getting the same value out of the partnership than what AEW is doing.
I'm just all about cooperation. Like I said, I'm getting crucified possibly over NHB and GCW later. I feel like, Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah, that's who. I don't know, but like it doesn't. Other people are noticing, and they don't want to go to AEW as this partnership because they realize there's no partnership. It's you're just going to use me to help elevate your guy, and our company is just being here. Like you're not elevating anything. And like, unfortunately, I agree with everything you said. That's what made me love Tony Khan and AEW in the first place. Like I've said it many times is holy shit. Like, hey, you're not using Moxley. Moxley is showing up in GCW. Oh, you're not using like anybody like Darby Allin. They're showing up at place. Like you're not using these wrestlers and now these bigger names that aren't being used on their time or being showcased in all these different independent companies. And it is helping everybody out. And that's what I feel is, as you said, they've gotten so far away from that. That's what's disappointing to me as an AEW fan since day one is their kind of lack of equal partnerships and more just one-sided partnerships.
Well, even including the WWE people who've been around a long time, like Edge, Christian and whatnot, even 50 to 60% of the roster on any given AEW pay-per-view were GCW people. And that seems to be forgotten. And the rest are WWE people who have been told that, you know, their time is done there. And I don't know. I was going somewhere with that, but I'm like, is it worth going anywhere with that? I'm just saying, all of a sudden now, the intended reason for the company to do what it does was supposed to be freedom. It was supposed to be freedom for the wrestlers to work where they want to, still be able to this and that. And then it feels like someone talked to him and said, you don't want these guys injured here. You don't want this. You don't want that. And now he's pulling the injury time thing, which I believe is still fair. If you hire someone to do a job for a year and they're only there for 4 months, you're still required to have 8 months. I feel that's fair. Let's be honest. If you hire a cook to do a job and he only does a third of the job, you require him to do the other 2/3 because that's what you paid for. And I know that's shitty to say because some people go, well, let him go, let him go. It's like, well, give him work. Does a guy want to work? Give him work. Yeah, they didn't promote it.
You don't promote Kenny Omega, your kingpin, your ace, and you don't promote him showing up on another show. Like, that's the bullshit I'm talking about. Like, just something easy, a quick commercial.
Yeah.
It's interesting, yeah. Yeah, but like
I love Dark, by the way. Dark was an awesome show on YouTube for the longest time. I used at one point I prided myself on watching every Dark. I loved Dark all the way through the pandemic and shit. It was fun watching GCW people come up
Mance, there. Yep, Justice and Mance on there. Like, yeah, that was cool.
Why aren't they doing something together? And if this bloody thing is such a big deal to Tony, why isn't he putting that in Ring of Honor or one of his specific companies where they can have their own ECW style thing going on?
I don't think it's the blood. He doesn't care about blood at all. Like,
no, what I was saying was I thought he's more into it. So since he's more into it, maybe he puts that part. Okay, so of course there's all kinds of sponsors and shit. Maybe he puts that on Ring of Honor for paid content, so he can get the blood and the death matches and all the wild independent stuff. And then when it's time to have his MJFs and whatnot, and he can sell his Mattel toys, they can do that on the main show where it can remain clean and polished, and let Ring of Honor have its fun down there. Because right now I feel like it could use it and it needs it. I don't know.
I was disappointed at the end of that Cardona match. Like, that was just horribly booked and just everything around it. Like, I felt bad for Cardona being brought in just for that. Like, I was happy he got the moment in New York, the spotlight, the Hammerstein, everything for him. But like, I just feel like you being brought in just for that and not being used further, or like, as we were saying, something cool. Yeah. Like, I was expecting something cool. I tuned in just for that match and everything. And as soon as that match was over, I was heavily disappointed, and at least I got to see Starks at the end. But even then, that didn't make any sense. But that's a whole different show and story. But yeah, I don't know. I just wish there, as we were talking about with other companies, AEW joining in on all this fun, and wrestling is a lot better when we all work together, and as it felt like it was happening a few years ago, and now it's kind of splintering off again. And I think that's where we're finding all these people arguing and stuff instead of working together.
Yeah. And I'm still 100% with it. It's time to work together. Yeah. It's really time to work together because
what? You stopped.
Say what?
You said it's time to work together because, and then you stopped.
Oh, geez. I'm so sorry. No, it's just time to work together because the alternative is I'm just tired of seeing 75% buildings and 80% buildings. It doesn't look good on camera. I'd much rather see a packed garage of people having fun than empty spaces and people clapping because like the room swallowed their attendance.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go with the upcoming shows here? We only have that one upcoming.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night, Tuesday, December 31st, GCW's Till Infinity from the Mecca in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. We first have 187 and 420. That's Homicide and Reefer versus Kerry Morton and Griffin McCoy. I feel like they need a team name. It might be time here soon. Our next match will be Kevin Koo versus Alec Price. That's one half of each tag team. And then the other half of those tag teams fight next, Dominic Guarini versus Cole Radrick. Our next then will be Joey Janela versus Dr. Redacted. Watch out for that one. It's going to be wild, and I'm really looking forward to it. Megan Bain versus John Wayne Murdoch. I have no idea what to expect in that one whatsoever. Do you? I'm guessing no fucking idea how that's
No
going to
way.
go. I don't see her getting cut open and bleeding everywhere, and it just ain't happening.
Yeah.
The next two matches I was really looking forward to. We have the Do or Die Rumble. The winner receives a GCW World Championship match. And then what may be our main event, who knows? Atticus Kogar versus Cyclope, which I wrote that'll put butts in seats especially if you're a deathmatch fan.
That one got me like, what? I had to do a double take. I'm like, excuse me? That's Atticus's first match back against Cyclope. Are you kidding me?
I fucking love it. Set to appear that haven't had matches yet. Allie Catch, Matt Tremont, One Called Manders, and Effy. So that's our only upcoming show. Again, that is tomorrow night. Definitely tune into that.
Sorry. Charles Mason versus Pero was just added.
Oh, hell yeah. I like that.
Out of left field prediction for the Rumble. Man.
I don't know who's in it yet, so I feel weird kind of. One Called Manders said he's going to win that fucker. I mean, that's pretty close to what he said verbatim. So Manders already has a head of steam, but again, I don't know who's in it yet. Is there somebody you want to see get a GCW World Championship title shot?
Speedball, I guess, but I mean, I don't know. Like he hasn't been wrestling since his whole contract issue and everything. And out of left field for I was just trying to think. Like, I don't know, because I have no idea, to be honest with you. I don't know. I wouldn't even do it right now just because Cole has that thing. It just feels like there's too many question marks. Like you could do this and that, but that's a cool thing. You don't know where to go. I don't even know, to be honest with you. Alec Price cause some dissension. I don't know.
Great one said Speedball needs to get a new visa since his TNA contract is expiring.
Yeah, okay. That explains.
You know, it's funny. I did another, it wasn't a poll this time. I was just asking, what is everyone's GCW champion if they had a choice? And the secondary choice was Speedball. A lot of people chose Speedball. And again, I say it, and families, kids like him. He's a good face. He keeps a pretty clean image. Big fan. I really would like to see, man, come on. I would have loved to have seen Speedball for 2 or 3 months take the title. Let's talk about, I mean, we don't have to, but let's talk about, again, how this is independent wrestling. Let's have some fun with this too. I mean, how the hell did he not win a title at a tournament or something somewhere for GCW? And maybe when will it happen?
Homicide? No, sorry. I just saw that.
So we need to make a list at some point, just in our heads, who puts on consistent quality matches every time they're on. Mancer, Speedball, like these are guys that for sure, it doesn't matter. A Gringo, any match they're in, quality. How many more people do you need to really build a company? You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm talking about old school booking, but you generally need a champion and 3 or 4, people that are around that, and you can build a lot between a champion and about 3 or 4 others.
Sydney has no story.
So that's the interesting part. Sydney has no story yet. That's what I hope changes. Maybe he gets a microphone, or maybe he's missing a feud.
I hope that changes for a lot of people.
Same. We'll see what happens there. I'll just go on here. Don't forget, our next show will be a very special interview on a very special night. Monday, January 6th. Again, that next guest will be the Duke, John Wayne Murdoch, and I will be asking questions, and so will you. So feel free to come to chat and ask away. That's what he's here for. We're going to have a damn good time together, like we do with every person who comes on the show. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I really do like his work, and I am a deathmatch person, so it is what it is. I'll just say it again. If you have the opportunity, please give us a like on YouTube. Follow Body Slam on there also. Please follow B at GCW Plant Podcast on X, and then follow me at Game Changer Week on X. And we'll go ahead into these last couple things I wanted to say here. I want to say some thank yous leaving this year and into the next year. I'm thankful for my family first and foremost. They're my whole life, and that's what I have. Now on to my second family. Thank you to our listeners that have become familiar friends. There are many of you who we just simply enjoy. I follow almost all of you on X, and I cheer you on daily. I'm thankful for my co-host who deals with my imperfections and makes the most of them. We have a unique chemistry, and we've mastered the rare art of disagreement and how to balance opinions. No, we do. We do damn well at that, you know? Brant and I are also, and I'm not speaking for him, but I feel like it's fair to say that Brant and I are thankful for what we have here at Game Changer Weekly. Huge thank you to Cass at Body Slam for believing in us. Last March, when we were given the keys to Game Changer Weekly, I told everyone it's only going to get better from here. I truly hope we delivered in 2024 as fans. This was our first time broadcasting live, and we just hit the ground running in March, and the good and bads came with it. Thank you for holding in there. We're also thankful we've built a solid, growing, working relationship with GCW, and we've been accepted into the family. We have a lot more ahead for you in 2025, we promise. We want to bring as much entertainment and content to all GCW fans in the coming year. We hope everyone has a happy and safe new year. We can't wait to see you on the other side. I just want to say that we'll see you soon, friends, and we love you. And that's my message. I didn't know if there was anything else you wanted to say just to kind of close things out or whatnot, but I wanted to write this out and tell people, there you go. Just wanted to tell people we care for them. And in the new year, we want to see bigger things, and we're looking on that. Just like I said, we've got January completely booked out. That's where we're going. I have 2 people in February already that I'm trying to get together and lock in, and I'm looking forward to that also. Hopefully that will be the first female performer we've had on our show. I won't say who that is, but we're going to work on it together, and we do feel that we'll be able to get her shortly. Otherwise, though, yeah, we're amateurs, guys. Thank you so much for like being here with us. It really does matter a lot. We put in a lot of work. Yep, Kurios, we love you. Love you guys.
Yes, thank you. I will second everything John said. As always, he said it more eloquently and efficiently than I will. Just thank you, everybody. It's been one hell of a year. We started from the Plant Podcast going live on YouTube in January for the first time to 3 months later taking over Game Changer Weekly, and what that's turned into with, as you said, the relationships with GCW, the Patreon, all the fans, Body Slam, the interviews we were able to get, everything. It's just been, a crazy year when you sit back and kind of think about how we started this year to how we're ending it now with 320 people in here live and on a Monday night compared to me and you, just ourselves 3 hours at the beginning of January on a podcast. So thank you all so much, everybody. Thank you, John, for doing all the hard work you always do behind the podcast. Thank you to our families for giving us the time and support to do all this. And thank you all, our second family out here in chat every week. Makes the chat and just wonderful. Like that, I don't think I could do another podcast any other way. Like I can't go back old ways and not do it live without a chat. You guys have provided so much this year, and thank you to being on the growth with us here. We've seen a lot of these names since day one on the YouTube channel to now, and I can't wait to 2025. We do have some more exciting things, and hopefully keep on moving and doing bigger and better exciting things that we have planned for you guys.
We're working so hard, really are, because we're trying to provide what we think we would want to hear and listen to the best of our ability. So, Quirios and Milk said, happy Hogmanay Lang, may your lums reek. Quirios, I hope your lums reek. Hey, I know that's obviously, I'm sure, a beautiful Scottish saying.
I'm about to say, I hope, I'm about to say, like, I'm trying to figure it out, like, if it was like, I don't know if it was just like,
I think they just cursed me.
I think the way you read it made it seem like it was a fake thing that, like, I'm trying to decipher something here, but
no. Happy Hogmanay. I could probably look that up if I had a chance.
Right.
But yeah.
Read.
They're speaking some crazy. Here it is, right here. Hogmanay is the Scots word for the last day of the old year and is synonymous with the celebration of the new year in a Scottish manner.
Yeah. Probably
all the blessings and Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and Happy New Year to all of you. So see you on socials.
Reed, don't keep your DMs open, because if we need somebody for collective, if something happens with Brett, or like if we have time to do a full review, we'll definitely reach out to you. We just don't know what's happening that week or anything. Obviously, we're hoping to have Brett on, but we know how things go with Brett. And
Oh no, he's coming on. This was we've talked. This is a long time in the making. He 100% wants to come on before and then directly after. We're locking that in because this is home. This is home base. This is community. He wants to talk to us. Unless something amazing happens.
that's what I'm saying.
We've been talking almost every other day, making sure that things are locked in so that GCW can work with us. Like basically he's working his best to work with us so that we can do what we're doing over here. So thank you for that. It's truly a group effort from listeners all the way through here to family to business. So thank you again. Happy Hogmanay Lang. And may your lums reek. I love that last saying. I'm going to find out what that is.
Oh, my goodness.
I hope I don't have reeking lums. I'll be honest.
Isn't it? Okay. I was about to say leaking rum. I don't know.
We're terrible. I'm part Scottish, so I can't say I'm being mean here at all.
I'm not being mean. I'm just ignorant. I don't know what any of this is.
There. I'm with you, bud. If there's any nationality I have, it's ignorance.
Right. Well, thank you all again. Thank you for a blessed 2024, and we cannot wait to see you on a 2025
on January 6th. So again, that's another Monday. That's the last Monday, and we're back in on Tuesdays. Yeah, and just to recap, we have January 6th Murdoch, January 14th and 21st Brett Lauderdale, before and after Hammerstein, and then January 28th will be Sam Stackhouse. Everybody have a great night and a happy new year. You ready, brother?
All right. We ready here? All right. Last one of 2024. We got to do our best here.
Oh, we got to get this right.
All right. One time for the fans here.
Long.
Shit. G.
No, fuck. We forgot long.
I said long. You're out of it.
Long?
We're on a delay here. That's our excuse. C.
CW.
W.
Love y'all. Good night.
Have a good new year, everyone.